6.
We're going to be commentating this race between fastatcc and jveth, so it should be a good one. So here's Mega Man 1. You can see already a route divergence between the two. Fast is going to go for cut first, and jveth is doing guts first. Guts first is a bit of an easier route because it gives you the super arm, which lets you grab the magnet beam more easily. Fast is going to have to use a glitch in Electman stage later to do a zip into the magnet beam area.
Looks like we have an unfortunate death already from jveth. Those platforms, I believe they're on a global timer, so once you get to them, if you delay just a little bit, then you'll miss it just by that much.
Yeah. It's really obnoxious. Looks like he's through the section unscathed now, heading into the second half of the stage. Guts Fight, like, the rest of the stage is not so bad, but Guts Fight can be dangerous if you come in with low health, so we'll be looking for that. You can notice that he's taking damage, and then he's pausing twice quickly. He's pressing select twice to pause, and that is actually canceling the knockback.
Yeah, what happens there is it kind of resets Mega Man's position, and and it keeps his iframes in the process. However, it doesn't keep enemy iframes, so you'll see that coming up likely in some of the boss fights. They'll use that to their advantage to use the select glitch to get multiple hits without taking any damage themselves.
Yeah. So you can see Gutsman a bit of a shorter stage than Cutman stage, so even though jveth has taken a death, he's into this boss fight faster than Fast. That sounded a little odd.
Yeah.
Ooh, wow! A very clutch dodge there of the rocks. jveth in a little bit of trouble, but looks like he's through. We got Fast grabbing the orb on Cut as well, so they'll be heading into the respective next stages.
This game pretty much follows the boss weakness. After you start on one, you just kind of keep going through until you finish in the boss order. Just the only difference is you either go to Guts, like you said earlier, or to Cut first to get Magnet Beam in one way or another. Now, looking at a Lex stage, you'll see this is a very long vertical stage. Pretty much the entire stage is just going to be climbing up and avoiding enemies on the ladders. But here pretty soon we'll see fastatcc take a stab at trying to get the magnet beam early.
Mm-hmm. It's a very tight jump around that corner that he was trying to make. It looks like he's fallen down.
There he goes. Oh, we got a one-up drop from jveth over here. Now, those are actually a very rare thing to happen in Mega Man 1. It's just incredibly rare compared to the other games. It just never happens. One thing to note, if you see Fast, he's going up these ladders, the small ladders, a little more quickly than you'd expect. That's because if you jump up to the top of a ladder and then you hit up... Oh, wow. That was a really, really fantastic magnet grab. But anyway, the ladders, if you jump up them and hit up right at the top of them, it kind of zips you up to the top for you, so you don't actually have to climb it yourself. So it's a little bit faster to do that if you can. And because climbing is very slow, you often see them, like right here, you'll see Fast use the magnet beam to create platforms to jump up instead of climbing up, just because climbing is so slow in this game.
Yeah, Mega Man 1 and 2, climbing is painfully slow. So anything you can do to avoid being in that climbing state is a good thing. It can be kind of dangerous, though, as you saw. Fast took a little bit of damage there.
jveth unfortunately missed his first block and missed the extra hits on the second block. But however, he still was able to bust her cut just fine.
All right. Cool. So now we see Fast is in Iceman stage, and we got jveth coming into Elec. So it's going to be a little bit easier for jveth to pick up the magnet beam at this point, because he's going to have super arm, which lets him lift the blocks instead of having to zip in. And risk soft locking, by the way. If you try that clip and then you go too far in. Oh, Fast having some difficulty setting up this zip here. He's given up. So if you clip too far in, then you're stuck there and you have to reset. And you have to do all of cut stage and all of Elec stage all over again. So he's going to have to wait for these Yokus. Oh.
Yeah,
Okay.
especially with how low of magnet beams he has, he's going to be forced to wait for Yoku so that he can use the magnet beam to get across this big pit faster.
Okay. jveth having some difficulty. He's falling down. This can be an interesting climb, because there are these things that shoot you, and it's really easy, just like this, to get caught in a falling loop. If you don't time these shots properly. Looks like he's up the first half. We'll see if he can get up the second half as well. Fast looks like he's gonna be trying a couple of corridor zips here. Placing the first magnet too high, second magnet also too high. In Mega Man 1, there is one pixel where you can place a magnet beam, and the game will let you stand on it, but the game will also think that you're inside the ceiling. So if you place a magnet beam on this pixel and then land on it and turn left, you'll start zipping as though you got stuck in the wall.
Yeah, and you'll see that with a couple of other zips later on. However, it won't necessarily be with just a ceiling or anything. They're actually going to be trying to do screen transitions, and you'll see one here coming up on Fireman stage if Fast goes for it.
Yeah. I think he practiced it, so hopefully. Here's a rather standard one where you're just like getting into the ceiling there. It skips a rather nasty section where you have to go around and kill a bunch of those turrets. Alright.
It's also frame perfect, though. You do have to hit that right on in order to get that. So like we said, there was just one pixel to get it, so getting it quickly is impressive.
Alright, looks like he's gonna go ahead and do this screen wrap here. When,
Nice executed.
yeah, so similarly to zipping, there's also like a pixel you can get on where you will wrap to the bottom of the screen, and then you can trigger the screen transition in a very unconventional way, which lets you then do a jump in the next screen and do another one, just like that.
Wow,
And
very
then
nice.
there was a very long zip there. That's an incredibly dangerous zip. If you don't do that exactly right, then you are going to get knocked down and die.
Yeah, you have a very, I think it's 6 pixels that you have to jump up to do the zip correctly on there, and if you don't do it, any input you give after that will immediately kill you on the next screen. Or if you do it too late, you'll actually screen wrap to the bottom of that screen.
Yeah, have to redo this whole screen? Alright, jveth is very low HP coming into this elect fight, but hopefully should be fine. Don't underestimate those elect beams. They're very dangerous in this climb.
They've got a bit wider, at least I find that they have a bit wider of a hitbox than you would think they would.
Yeah. Well, Mega Man's got a pretty sizable hitbox too.
Yeah.
Alright. So here is Bomb Stage. It has another interesting zip coming up towards the second half.
Oh,
Looks like jveth
death.
taking in an unfortunate death on Elec here.
Luckily, he still has lives, so he can at least still continue.
Yeah.
Fairly quickly.
So you can see kind of the use of ice here to freeze enemies in place, which is very helpful for this stage. Because otherwise, those Sniper Joes, they will follow you to the ends of the earth.
They will not stop ever. You will either kill them or you will die.
Fast trying for another zip there, but didn't quite get the pixel he wanted. It's interesting, you can check, you can know whether or not you have... Oh, so this is a really awful zip to set up sometimes, because the magnet has a number of different distances that it can come out from Mega Man's gun. And so if you place it and it's a far distance and you're trying to come off the ladder, it can be incredibly difficult to get onto that magnet to start the zip. Thankfully, he's got it second try, and he's going to be coming up to Bomb Fight pretty soon.
Now, with turning left there, he actually does a very slight zip into the Bomb Man room, just so that he can get a little closer to him.
It's also interesting to note, you might not be able to see it because of the frame rate of the stream, but when you kill Bomb Man, the orb actually appears inside the boss door and then zips to the right a little bit before you catch it.
And you do see jveth using the magnet beam to stay out of the water, because the water provides a lot of lag in this game when you stay inside of it.
Yeah, it's not so much lag. I think that Mega Man's speed is actually reduced.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Alright, so here's the point of doing cut first, for the most part. Like, having Magnet Beam for this stage is a godsend. It makes it so much faster and easier.
Yeah, everything in this stage becomes trivial. As soon as you have Magnet Beam, just run through and you're done.
Yeah. I believe Fast might be trying for a zip here. Looks like he missed the
looks
setup.
like it. But...
You gotta be very careful with that screen transition, because if one of the hammers follows you down, then it can hit you on the next screen, and if you don't cancel the knockback fast enough, then you're gonna plummet down to your doom with no way to avoid it.
Yeah, because of the spikes below there. One thing to note that in Mega Man 1, spikes, it doesn't matter what, you know, if you have iframes or anything, you will still die from them, unlike the later games. In Mega Man 1, it doesn't care. It'll kill you either way.
Yeah. jveth having a little bit of trouble here with these Yoku blocks. They can be really nasty. Let's see. Looks like he's going to try and skip part of them. There we go. He's got no beams left for the second half. This was going to be tough.
There was a corridor zip there at the end of Fast. I just wanted to mention he did get the one in Guts. So,
yeah, showing off
really
a little
tricky
bit of that
to try and get
corridor
it.
zipping.
Yeah.
So now he's into Mega Man 2, starting with Flash. I believe that Fast plays on Rockman 2, which is a faster but more difficult version.
No, it's faster because playing in Japanese, you have faster text. So because of that, you know, it by default is faster from the item get screens. But you know, it is a lot harder with the double health on all the enemies.
Yeah.
Oh, that's an unfortunate death from jveth.
Yeah, so now he's going to have to do all of these Yokus all over again. This is a really punishing checkpoint. Probably the most punishing checkpoint in the Mega Man 1 Robos.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Flash Stage doesn't really have much going on in it. There's the one screen with the tin cans, and you can shoot them and jump through the cans that get shot off, but that's very difficult. So this Flashman fight is very interesting. It's important to space your shots out very, very carefully. See here, he got a flash. Only the best players can consistently do Flashman fight in Rockman 2 without getting a flash pattern.
Yeah, it's incredibly tricky because the blue stage here actually acts like ice physics, and Mega Man 2 kind of has a bit of extra slide in it when you end anyway. And walking, I mean.
Oh, so jveth running afoul of an interesting property of those platforms. When they shoot, their hitbox disappears. If you're standing on it already, that's okay. But if you're not standing on it, and like if you're just about to land and it starts shooting, then you're doomed. You're gonna fall right through to your death. So now he has to do ice stage all over again.
Now you see with Fast, he's going to heat second, rather than a weakness order in this game. They actually tried to get the items first because you can set up a lot of zips and go a lot faster with the item too as well. And what you saw right there, Fast just kind of walked off the ledge and then paused to swap weapons to the item. When that happens, it actually resets your horizontal momentum, so you can actually make further gaps than what you normally would be able to.
Mm-hmm. Uh-oh. Have we got faster net?
Do we have faster net?
Uh-oh.
In the meantime, jveth looks like he has some extra ammo because of that game over, so he's able to use the magnet beam to make his way across the pit, which makes it much simpler.
Picking up that health might have been good because the this big eye enemy here. Oh, we've had a pretty significant jump in jveth's stream.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So it looks like Fast's internet is misbehaving as usual, and we got jveth fighting Iceman. So looks like he's finally through this stage as long as he doesn't jump.
There you go.
Cool.
Okay.
Awesome, and he'll be going to fire next. I'm not sure if he tries any of the zips or anything, but it should be an interesting stage. Fireman is a very dangerous stage. There's a lot of easy ways to take damage.
Now, what you didn't see that was going on Fast stream just because his internet was doing what it usually does. He went through a zip right before I went down. Or no, excuse me, he did the zip, and then he went to do a Yoku block section, so he had to memorize where everything is at on there. If you're fast enough, you can actually scroll them on the screen sooner than what they normally would, but it's very risky to do that, and you have to pretty much do it without stopping.
Yeah, not recommended.
Not recommended.
Alright, so here's the point of going for heat second instead of air second, which is another common route. Here he's going to use item 1 to make this first screen faster. There's a little wiggle there to manipulate the position of the lightning guy. And here we go. Looks good. His HP is maybe not optimal, but looks like he's got the bird manip fine. So, as long as there's 2 of those little birdies on screen, the next big bird isn't going to come. And so you can be a little bit safer And especially with an item out, you can't really use your buster, right? So you have to find alternative ways to keep yourself safe. Alright. jveth making good use of the lightning here.
The elect beam.
Yes, the elect beam. To take care of the spines, which would otherwise be a monumental pain to deal with.
Now, let's fight with the airman that Fast has. He's hoping to get patterns that he can jump over the air with, but he can't necessarily guarantee that and has to hope for it. And just damage boost if he does get one that he can't jump over.
Yeah,
but for the most
that was
part,
a good fight, though.
Fine. Yeah. Alright, jveth lives.
Yeah, so we now have 3 robots down for Fast in Mega Man 2, and we got 5 robots down for jveth in Mega Man 1. Okay.
Now that Fast has completed those 3 stages, he has all 3 items and can use them all to do various zips throughout the rest of the game.
Yeah. Here's, in fact, one coming up very quickly.
Yes.
That was a very good setup. And he gets the screen wrap, too. Very nice.
Oh, I actually didn't know you could do that. Very nice.
I can't.
Well,
there we go. So what he did there is he dipped, and then he was moving along a lot of, like,
essentially the stage in the background is the best way to describe that.
Yeah. So he wrapped around the screen a couple times, and then he went down a ladder that didn't exist and died, and that actually, like, reset the screen position properly so that he could so you could resume at the checkpoint here.
Now, the reason that he swapped to heat, though, if you actually charge up heat just slightly and release it as you die, it cancels out the death animation, I guess you could say, and allows you to spawn much, much faster than what you normally would.
Yeah. Here's a very interesting climb. Using the item 3 to climb a lot faster than you could ever climb normally. Alright, jveth not doing the Bomb Man zip here, and instead going through the second half of the stage, which can be pretty dangerous. There's a Sniper Joe at the very end of this stage, which will usually kill people. So we'll see if he's able to get past it. Okay, looks like he's abusing Elec to his advantage here. Now it doesn't matter as much if he dies because he's right at the boss. Alright, so Fast is going into Quickman. There's a couple of zips you can do in Quickman. The first one almost everybody does. And the second one, only a very few people do. So we'll see how this goes.
So one thing to note... Oh,
yeah.
so go.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, one thing to know, in Mega Man 2, you'll see them jumping off corners, because you're trying to get your fall speed to be the fastest it can be as soon as you reach essentially that level ground. So you jump a little bit to save a few frames around every corner.
Yeah. Right, so you can see him screen wrapping to reset his screen position there. He screen wrapped to the left, so it brought him back. He was one screen ahead of where the graphics indicated, and then he screen wrapped left to fix that.
Some people do this in the dark, but if you wiggle just right, like he did there, you can actually turn the lights on, make it a little easier for you.
Yeah, especially if you're going to do this zip. which is near impossible. Ooh, he came.
Oh, he's going for
very,
it.
very close to the gate there.
Wow, that was well done.
If you zip past that gate and you don't enter it at the right time, then you are done. You have to reset and you have to password back in. It's terrifying. Thankfully, there's a safe wiggle strat that you saw Fast do, where he did a little jump and then turned left and then turned right. Did a little jump, turned left, turned right. And that can reliably get you exactly one tile further forward, which will eventually get you to the boss door. So you got jveth now done Mega Man 1, and he's into Mega Man 2. Doing Flashman stage first. And we'll see which route he takes in Mega Man 2.
Yeah, depending on if, what kind of zips, if he goes for zips he wants to do. Yeah. And it looks like he is actually using Mega Man 2 rather than Rockman 2.
Yes, that's correct. So he's going to have a little bit of an easier time killing bosses, but he's going to lose some time from text. Ooh.
Oh.
A very rarely seen zip from Fast there. That's a zip that if you do it perfectly, you can save a very small amount of time. But if you don't do it perfectly, then you probably are not saving time.
You're probably losing time. I think it's half a second is all that saves, if you do it correctly.
Yeah. Alright, so an interesting feature of Metal Fight, and I don't know if Fast's going to abuse this or not, but if you hold B as the fight starts, and don't repress it, then for a period of time, Metal will do nothing. So it looks like he did not, but instead starting the fight normally and then continuing into sort of a held B pattern there. We got jveth doing heat seconds, so I believe he will probably be doing zips of some sort.
Yeah, and we'll see if he goes for fast air as well.
Okay. Here's Woodman stage for fast. This is a stage which has a pretty famous zip. Everybody get your good woods ready. First we'll see if he's able to get through these dogs. It's a little bit maybe more critical to get through the dogs in Rockman 2 than it is in Mega Man 2, because they take twice as many metal blades to kill.
Oh,
that looked good. Yeah.
Now he has to use Flash before he goes down to where the 3 dogs are. As soon as he does that, then none of them will spawn. But he has to be fast enough and do that zip in the corridor in order to actually get through all 3 of them without stopping. Yeah. Otherwise, the last one will still spawn and he has to kill him.
Yeah, it's unfortunate they have a little wall. jveth doing very, very well, by the way, with the Yoku section. Looks like he's had a good stage. Alright, so here we got Fast finishing up this zip. It's a very complicated zip. You end up like scrolling through a lot of terrain. This is very, very disconnected from the graphics.
Essentially what you're doing is you're playing through the stage on one screen, just by screen wrapping. But then you get to a point that you zip through the ceiling and kill yourself, just like we did in Crashman's stage, and it puts you in the boss corridor. However, if you do that wrong, you can actually softlock yourself in Wily 3, I think is where it teleports you to, and there's no way to complete it after that. You actually have to reset.
Well, I think I heard there's a way you can game over. And
oh, okay, there might be a way to game over, but...
Okay. So here we go. It's just one Robot Master left for Fast in Mega Man 2. We got 2 Robot Masters down for jveth, so Fast enjoying a 5 Robot Master lead at this point.
Don't mind the waterfall, it destroys every stream, no matter how good your quality is.
Yeah, I've never seen this stage on somebody's stream. Alright, let's see if jveth is going to go for fast air here. Wow, it looks like he's gonna do it.
Yeah.
Taking a death. It's unfortunate.
Oh, that is unfortunate. Looks like he just missed his jump off of it.
Yeah. So the big thing here is he's now out of flash. So he's going to take a lot of damage here unless he manages to... Or unless he waits, or unless he takes...
Oh, that is unfortunate. Mega Man 2 has a much longer knockback than the rest of the series.
Yeah, well, it's not even a consistent knockback, right?
That's true, yeah. If you have some lag on the screen, it actually extends the knockback.
Alright, so he's going to take a game over and just try again. A lot of people prefer to do this when they mess up fast air.
He also has to keep in mind that if he is doing the zips in Crash and in Wood, he needs to actually have lives to respawn, because if he doesn't, then he'll just game over and have to start the stage over again. So that may be another reason why he game overed on purpose.
Yeah, that's a favorite embarrassment of mine, actually. Forgetting I'm down a life, doing the zip, and then instead of respawning triumphantly at the boss door, I get a game over screen, and it's like, oh, well, I just wasted a bunch of time.
Yeah, I have been there. Been there and done that.
Alright, so Fast is now into Mega Man 3. Mega Man 3 is by far Fast's main game. So you might get to see some very high-level strategies here in this portion of the run.
Oh, another unfortunate death from jveth. Fast air is not an easy thing to do. Then there's a couple ways you can do it. You can do one by damage boosting through enemies to make it a little easier. There's a way to do it without that, but it requires very precise platforming to not take damage, and it's incredibly difficult.
Yeah. Yeah, Air Stage is just incredibly unforgiving. It's not uncommon to see people game over once or twice in 46 Robot Master races on this stage alone.
Yeah.
Alright.
So going for those one-block slides?
Yeah. One of the interesting features of Mega Man 3, obviously, it introduces slide, which is a way to make Mega Man go faster. But there's some peculiarities about this slide. For example, until 8 frames after you start your slide, you cannot jump out of it.
Right.
So sliding across one tile platforms, and then trying to get a jump off of that can be incredibly difficult.
Now, Mega Man 3 also starts the games where you have to end in the center in order to go faster. However, as soon as you kill a boss in Mega Man 3, you cannot move. So you want to try and finish the fight with Mega Man dropping dead in the center of the room.
Yeah. Also in Mega Man 3 and 4, the fanfare doesn't play until, so the weapon get doesn't really play until all of the explosion bubbles are cleared from the screen. So you also want to kill bosses in the center of the screen. So you got to get Mega Man to the center, and you got to get the boss to the center as close as you can. So it becomes a little bit of a dangerous thing fighting bosses in this game. So we got jveth dispatching airmen with ease compared to the stage itself.
Yes. You just damage boost through the air and keep firing.
Yeah. Here's a very technical room of Shadow Man stage, which is Fast's second stage here. Oh,
Another
man. He nailed it.
Indeed he did. In Mega Man 3, there are a few different routes that people will take. This is probably the most difficult route to do correctly, going top first and then Shadow second. Because what Fast is going to use here is use top spin. He's going to slide across these platforms, and he has to jump on the very edge of those platforms and use top spin. Now, when you use top spin, it oftentimes likes to pull you back where you came from as soon as you hit an enemy. So you have to make sure that you are right at the edge of that jump in order to get it.
Another interesting property of top spin there. When you are in 9 frames and you and you continue to use top spin through an enemy's hitbox, every single frame it's going to drain ammo. It's going to try and hit. And so you can find yourself very quickly without ammo. thankfully Fast was able to conserve just enough ammo to finish off that fight. So now he's going to Gemini Man stage, which is a very difficult stage.
jveth opting to not go for the crash zip here.
He doesn't even have any lives, so even if he wanted
so that
to...
may be, yes, exactly.
Gonna see some item climbing here.
It looks like he got the wrong one, though.
I think he was trying to conserve the item one, because you kind of need them for the second half of the stage, right?
That is true.
He looks like he's giving up. Just moving along here. Alright, so Fast just skipped a Proto Man cutscene, which is going to despawn the music. Like, not only do you get to skip this Proto Man cutscene, but also music processing in this game causes lag, much like any other NES game. So, by killing the music, you're actually decreasing the lag and saving quite some time that way too.
Back there at the tadpoles, there was actually a very small zip. I think it's the only zip that's really in Mega Man 3. I could be wrong, but that's pretty much the one major zip in this game, where you use the tadpole to slide into it, and it confuses the game, thinks Mega Man is still kind of in the wall when he isn't, but it pushes him straight through.
There we go. Very nice work by Fast through the Gemini one block room.
Yeah, that room is terrifying to watch. It's terrifying to play.
Nice jump over the Stomper. So now we got jveth about to fight Crash Man, and we got Fast about to fight Gemini Man. Looks like pretty solid fights from both. Okay. So, Quick Man stage. Very dangerous. Looks like he's picking up a life, which is nice.
That's probably a wise decision.
Yeah, whether or not he's going for the wood zip, like, it's nice to have that life. Especially since this stage can be very, very dangerous. He's going for the right-hand route, so he's going to pick up the other life. And maybe an E-Tank as well, who knows.
Yep, there he goes.
There we go. There's one thing about this stage, is very generous with the lives. He's going to try the zip here. Let's see if he's able to get it. Oh, so he got into the ceiling, but he missed the trigger. So there's something interesting about Mega Man 2 zips. Like, there are two ways you can trigger a Mega Man 2 zip, and that's with A or with B. The A trigger is the more common trigger for the ceiling zips there, where you zip along the ceiling. And that's very tight. You have to jump, and then you have, like, a window of like 4 frames or so.
Something like that.
Yeah, but not the 4 frames immediately after pressing A. It's 4 frames starting like 3 frames after you press A in order to get that zip. So
yeah, it's interesting. Not too difficult with a bit of practice. It just becomes muscle memory.
Yeah, looks like he did very well with that zip and with the rest of the stage. Now he's coming into Quick Fight. And depending on the pattern, he should make quick work of it. Meanwhile, Fast just did Needle stage, and he's on to Magnet. The reason you do Needle before Magnet, even though that's not necessarily like a weakness order thing, is you want to have Rush Jet to skip the Yoku Block sections. Otherwise, it would be faster to just do Magnet first in the first place. Have Magnets for other stages.
Gotta get that battle pose when finding Proto.
Alright.
I'd be surprised if jveth didn't do the metal zip. That is Probably the freeze zip in
Yeah.
Mega Man 2.
Yeah. So unlike ceiling zips for like these wall zips here, where you get inside of a wall and you can see Mega Man stuck in here, it's a lot easier with the B trigger because you have, I don't even know how many frames. It's a lot. You have a long time to.
I want to say 12, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, you have a very long time to tap left after pressing B there. So we got fast with Shadow Blade here, moving into the Magnet Fight. This is one of the main things that makes Top First so fast, is that this fight is incredibly fast with Shadow Blade. Yeah,
And he's
just
gone.
That. Yeah. That was the good pattern too.
Indeed. And when you're fighting Magnet, you want him to jump over to the side and then use the Magnet Shield so you can run into him if you have the life for it. Because then you can cancel out his animation and continue to keep hitting him. If he jumps up high, you can't necessarily do a lot about it unless you have a weapon to hit him.
Alright, so making quick work of metal with jveth here, and he's probably going to be going to wood stage next. Just to save that little bit of extra time from the long port and bubble.
Indeed.
In RTA runs, you could do either of these two stages next. It doesn't really matter which one.
Alright, because you have to wait the same amount of time regardless.
Yeah.
Whereas in this category, we're ending on the final boss kill or hit to kill them, so you want to try and go with the one that has the less time involved.
jveth going to be going with the heat strats for killing the first dog and making the skips on the next two a lot easier.
Yeah, that'll pretty much guarantee that he can get through the third dog.
So we got Hard Man stage for fast. This is a deceptively hard stage. Like,
Yes.
it looks pretty easy, but those Met Dozers, they have the worst hitbox of all time. And there's a bunch of them in a row there, which really sucks. So jveth trying this zip here. This is like a third type of zip, where you zip vertically. It's very difficult to set up sometimes. Had a weird white flash on his screen, but I don't know what that was all about.
I don't know. He made the zip so far.
He did make the zip so far. And he didn't do the swap to quick at the normal place.
Yeah,
which
that
is
was interesting. Because usually you need that swap to quick so that you can actually, like I said earlier, you have the reset when you pause in this game. It resets your horizontal
Makes
momentum.
it a lot easier to make
So-
it ledge there.
Yeah, it's interesting that he didn't pause to utilize that.
Alright, well. Playing
However,
a
he
little
gets
bit dangerous with his zip there. But he did not overzip, and so he's on to the boss fight. He's using heat? Okay. So it's about this... it's a lot faster in Rockman 2 to fight Woodman with air, because it can pierce his shield. But in Mega Man 2, it's about the same length no matter what you use.
So you may as well just do the one shot.
Yeah, it's very easy that way. Snake Man stage, another stage which benefits greatly from Rush Jet here. Like,
Yes.
I would say it's basically worthless to try and do this stage without Rush Jet, because you're going to lose a lot of time.
Yeah, there's a couple of zips that you could do without it on the Snake mini bosses, but they're really tight and kind of... I don't know if you'd call it luck dependent, because it's dependent on the movement of the blocks that are moving underneath, and you essentially have to slide into them in a certain way in order to zip past them, but it's very precise. So by using Jet would just fly over it instead.
Yep. So I don't know if we're going to see the really dangerous strats for the last screen here from Fast, but there's an easy way to do this section, and There's a hard way to do this section. We'll see how it goes. Now it looks like he's sticking with the easy way. You can switch to needle early and do some slides along those blocks there to save a very small amount of time at the risk of losing 50 seconds or something stupid like that.
Now, instead, though, by using Jet, as you saw him, he was jumping up essentially above the screen, and that gets rid of Mega Man's sprite on screen, so it reduces lag.
Yes, and another important factor is Rush Jet only expends energy in Mega Man 3 when Mega Man is standing on it.
Right, so you
if you're
preserve
constantly
ammo by
jumping,
that.
if you're constantly jumping, then you can conserve your ammo. All right, jveth now done Mega Man 2, and he's heading into Mega Man 3 just as Fast is entering his 8th Robot Master. It's reasonable to think that Fast would gain some major ground in Mega Man 3 because it's his best game by far.
And he is the world record holder, so...
Yeah. jveth still, I think, doing a very good job of keeping up.
Yes, I agree.
Considering the trouble he had in Mega Man 1.
And some in Mega Man 2 with fast air and the unfortunate that's there, but I think he's been doing fine otherwise.
Alright, so you see jveth doing the Magnet First route, which is a route that has gained some popularity.
It was actually developed by fastatcc.
Yeah, the modern Magnet First route is definitely Fast's doing. There were some RTAs a very, very long time ago which used Magnet First, but for most of the life of the game, it was either Top First or Gemini First, and Fast came in and kind of revitalized the Magnet First route to the point where a lot of new players now use that route.
Yeah, there's a lot in it that makes some stages a little simpler by getting magnets, just because they seek enemies, and so you can kill a lot of them and reduce lag that way.
Yeah, absolutely. So here we got Mega Man 4 coming up for Fast, and he's going to be doing Bright first, which is a very good route. Probably the best route for multiple game races like this.
Yeah, for just because getting Bright's weapon is kind of overpowered in a way. It'll freeze everything on screen. Sometimes it doesn't even make enemies spawn. So as soon as he gets the flash stopper, he can just freeze things and continue without any issues.
Yeah, no kidding. So here we go. Taking a quick deboost there so he can slide across the spikes to the next grasshopper a little bit quicker. So here we got jveth coming into Magnet Fight with very low HP. This is a little bit dangerous because Magnet Fight can be a little bit dicey and can go on a long, long time if you're not taking damage to make it quicker. So looks like he's got a bit of a pattern going though, which should suit him well, as long as he can avoid these jumps in the middle. Slow and steady wins the race here. A lot of shields. Shields are the most tragic thing to see when you got no HP.
Right. Because normally that's the pattern that you want to have.
I want lots of shields. I want a 4 shield pattern if I've got full health, and I want to have 3 shields and then a jump if I've got less than full health.
Exactly.
More likely I get 3 jumps and then a shield.
And the reason for that is just because, yeah, once you deboost into him, it gets rid of
every shield very easily.
So it allows you to keep hitting him right afterwards.
Alright, so Bright Fight, the only thing to really take into account here is, well, number 1, fast HP. Bright hits very hard. And number 2, you want to look at Bright's HP, because Bright has a flash stopper pattern that happens at 16, 8, and 4 HP. So if you do exactly 1 uncharged shot and then hit only with charged shots otherwise, then you're going to avoid all of the flash stopper patterns. And Fast was able to do that.
Let's see if he gets the magic pixel.
All right.
There he
So
gets
almost
it.
simultaneously, we got the first robot down in Mega Man 3 for jveth, and the first robot down in Mega Man 4 for Fast.
Now, the most noticeable difference, like immediately, between the two games is the slide. 3 has a much shorter slide than what 4, 5, and 6 has.
Yeah.
So you get to slide a lot longer.
You also get to jump out of the slide right away in Mega Man 4 if you so choose.
You don't have to wait that 8 frames.
With a couple exceptions. Number one, you can't jump out of a slide underwater, and and number two, you can't jump out of a slide if you're holding down.
Right.
Both of which you can do in Mega Man 3.
And he doesn't use coil, and just goes straight for the jump. Now, the reason he's going this way is so that he can grab Balloon, which is going to make both Ring and the Skull stages a bit faster in their climbs that they have.
Yeah. A little bit easier, too, if you ask me.
Yeah, I agree.
Balloon also enables the 1 zip in Mega Man 4 RTA. Yeah. So you saw, like, there's Mega Man 1 and 2, chock full of zips. Zips everywhere. Zips in, like, half the stages, right? Not so much in Mega Man 3. It's like 1 zip each.
Except 6. In 6, you actually die if you try to zip, so unfortunately we have never found a way to make use of any sort of getting in the wall.
The game's just too well programmed.
Yeah. Now, that actually is the case for Mega Man 4 as well, but there is
you can
one
bypass it with iframes.
Right.
That's the big thing.
Exactly. Without those iframes, you'll just straight up die.
So here's Fair Fight, another interesting fight. This is a less dangerous fight in terms of pure numbers, because Pharaoh does less contact damage than the other Robot Masters do.
Yeah, most of them doing 8.
Yeah, but if you get unlucky and he jumps all over the place, you can take lots of damage, and that's no good. Thankfully, by staying close to Pharaoh, you reduce the likelihood of getting jumps. So here we go, jveth proceeding through Hardman stage with lots of HP, so he should be able to survive the rest. I didn't notice. Did he take a death?
Not that I saw.
No. Okay. Here's a Proto Fight. This is a very interesting Proto Fight. It's very difficult sometimes to get done fast because of the uneven terrain.
Yeah, a lot about Mega Man 3 is just learning how to mash, and mash well.
I think the mashing difficulty of Mega Man 3 is vastly overrated, but that's just one man's opinion. So you can see here Fast using the balloon to progress extremely quickly in this climbing section of Ring. Now he's going to be skipping some mini-bosses. We see jveth taking a bit of a safe fight on Hardman here, not trying for any of the deboost strats.
That was a fantastic hippo skip right there.
Yeah.
He was able to just straight up jump up and get a reverse damage boost onto the pedestal and then slide through.
This is a very particular damage boost that you need to do to make that happen. So Fast is now low on HP. He's only got 8. He's going to take 4 doing this. Oh, never mind. He's just going to kill the hippo.
Now, one thing you'll notice with Pharaoh, it's got an interesting mechanic. You know, it has the charge appear above Mega Man.
Yeah, like a spirit bomb.
Yeah, and you can actually, as you've seen, hit with that. However, it doesn't consume any ammo, so technically, if you wanted to, you could just like pause buffer that and have infinite ammo of Pharaoh.
Yeah. It's actually going to be abused right here coming up in the boss fight. So You'll see that happen very soon. And jveth making progress here into Top Man stage. This is 3rd stage. Looks like he's...
It looks like he might be having some controller issues.
Controller issues, maybe?
Who?
Yeah, I keep seeing inputs come up on the
Yeah.
second controller.
Yeah.
I wonder what that might be about. I don't know. And that can actually be ruinous in Mega Man 3 because there are actually some cheats mapped to the second controller. And if you accidentally trip one of those, obviously you're going to be disqualified, or you're going to screw yourself up in some other way.
Right.
So it looks like he might have gotten that figured out now. He's proceeding into the cat fight here. These cats are a lot easier if you use magnet, but I guess he might be trying to conserve that ammo for something else.
Again, you see Fast using the flash stopper. It just freezes everything. All he has to do is run straight through afterwards.
This is the most terrifying screen in the whole 8 Robos for Mega Man 4, if you ask me.
It is a very terrifying
It's just like
screen.
a leggy death section.
I was going to swap to Ring here to get through the Crusher. Now, you can get through this. There's a very specific way that you can get through this every time, so we'll see if he can grab it. Doesn't look like he's taking some
No, he's
hits.
kind of off base here, so he's going to have
Yeah.
to wait an extra cycle on the... There we go. Oh, whoa, okay.
All right.
That was definitely a Crusher section.
That was a Crusher section.
Of the many Crusher sections I've seen before, that was one of them.
I
jveth
agree.
doing a very, very safe fight here versus Top Man.
Yeah, Top Man's in a way a little tricky on newcomers because they see Top Man and like, okay, great. He spins and then he goes across the room fairly quickly the first time, but after that, it's delayed. And a lot of players aren't used to that, and so they try and jump for it, and they're like, wait, why isn't he coming? And then they take a hit from it.
Mm-hmm. Looks like a pretty good Dustman pattern for Fast here.
Yeah.
Dustman can be notoriously awful. You can
Dustman
lose
sucks.
a lot of time. Yeah, Dustman sucks. Every time he sucks. You gotta either take a damage or wait it out.
Yeah, it's kind of like the magnet fight in that regard, He's got the shield up, so you have to take damage to cancel it out. Or you have to wait it. Alright, and we'll see Fast. He's likely going to be going for a zip here, yes.
Yeah, there we go. Nails it. That's
you
the
go.
one. That's the one RTA zip in Mega Man 4. So there we go.
And again, because you are required to be in iframes for that, otherwise you will die if you stay in there, but luckily that one's short enough that I can just send you straight through. Straight through. Now, one thing I don't think we mentioned quite with the balloon is you'll oftentimes see Fast jumping off an invisible balloon when he places one against a wall. If you place it just barely outside the wall, you have, I think it's 4 frames to jump off of the balloon.
No, it's more than that. It's like 9 or 10.
Oh, excuse me, it's 4 pixels that you have to move forward. That's the 4 I was thinking of. You have to move forward 4 pixels to land on it, and then you have that much time to still jump off of it, regardless of it actually spawning or not. Yeah.
Alright, so jveth making good use of magnets here. You can see that Parasuse section was much, much easier for jveth than it was for Fast. Much less particular.
Much less terrifying.
Much less terrifying, yeah. Alright, here we go. We got a simultaneous boss fight again.
Now
jveth
for
versus Shadow.
Skull,
Yeah.
I believe there is a set pattern if you stand in the correct places. Yep, there he goes.
Yeah.
Oh, he looks like he missed a shot, though.
Yeah, so if you move before shooting, then Skull will shoot, and if you shoot before moving, then Skull will jump. Or sorry, Skull will do a shield pattern. So you want to bait either 1 or 2 shot patterns first, and then a Skull pattern, and then
And by standing on a certain spot, it gets a short skull pattern.
Well, no, the length of the skull shield is random.
Is there an? Oh, I thought it was.
Yeah, but if you stand in the right place, then he does that vertical jump up afterwards, and that puts him in good position for the kill.
Yeah, right in the center. Like I said earlier, you want in 3 and 4, you want to kill the bosses in the center to reduce lag. Or rather, have them. The fanfare will rather start as soon as play faster.
Unfortunately, it's the opposite of reducing lag.
Right.
Those boss bubbles cause a major amount of lag.
Too much of a 6-runner. Alright, so you got to keep in mind when Fast is sliding underwater here, he cannot jump out of it, so he has to be careful and make sure that he gets his slides exact, otherwise he could just slide straight into spikes or miss a jump and walk straight into them.
Yeah. He did like a Mega Man 6 slide on that one section there, across the 4 tiles there, which scared me quite a bit because I don't trust that at all in Mega Man 4. It's not like Mega Man 6 where you stop after the slide, right? You're moving again immediately after the slide. So
right, exactly.
It's very terrifying.
Make sure to skip the wire, rip the wire.
Rip wire. Someday. Refight skip in RTA, can you believe it?
Yeah, there is a refight skip in Mega Man 4, however, it is task only, because you have to do 36 inputs in 39 frames.
Yep. Alright, so here's jveth coming up to the second half of Gemini stage, which is very terrifying, honestly. And we should be able to see some Rush Marine strats coming up here. jveth promised us that he would do this. Here we go. We got Marine coming out. He may or may not grab the ammo on the way as well. If you don't grab the ammo, then it's a little bit dangerous, because if you take too many hits, then you're going to be out of ammo before you get to the place where you can jump up.
Kind of hope he does, because he started that pretty far back.
Oh, he's taking a lot of hits. Oh, yeah. No. So he's got no ammo for Rush Marine now. And this is going to be very dangerous. It's a very treacherous path.
Now what he might do is go up to where the ammo that he skipped and then refill it there and then continue with Marine. Either that or he's just going to have to try and go along the 1 blocks, and when that happens he has to try and bait the dragonflies.
Yeah.
Looked like that was his plan, but he didn't quite get the swap.
Okay. Slow and steady is going to be the key here. Yes. Don't overextend yourself. Ooh. Some very dicey jumps here. Okay, looks like he should be through. Oh, all right. He's through. Okay, so meanwhile we got Fast doing Drillman stage. Drillman stage is a stage that benefits greatly from the Flash Stopper, which basically you use through the whole stage to just stop everything in its tracks.
One other thing we didn't mention with Flash Stopper is that shielded enemies pretty much no longer have a shield with the Flash Stopper. So
unless you kill them, unless you hit them on the frame that they come on screen. And then their shield is always active.
Gotta love screwing yourself over with the frame perfect trick.
Oh, that's just the best.
Yeah.
Oh, jveth getting faced there by Gemini.
Oh, snap.
It can be really dangerous to fight Gemini slowly. Like, not only because of that, but also, if you're slow with the first phase, sometimes there's a thing where you kill the wrong clone. And so, so the wrong clone disappears, and then you shoot the next one again, and it disappears too, and you're stuck there. It's a soft lock, and you have to reset and password in. The common advice from runners to new runners is to go faster. That's the only known way to avoid that.
No, the drill fight that Fast had, drill is, I'd probably say, the most random of the bosses in Mega Man 4. Just because he likes to dive, and it wastes, I think, 4.3 seconds, if I heard that correctly.
Yeah,
per dive.
4.3 seconds per dive. There's one dive that is unavoidable at the beginning, and after that, you can reduce you can reduce the dive rate by staying close to drill, but that's dangerous because drill does a lot of damage.
Right.
So
Ooh.
here, Fast taking an
Fortunate
unfortunate
both.
death. He should still have enough ammo to get through the stage. You need minimally 6 brights
Yeah, I
to
think he only
get
used
through
the
this
one.
stage with all the fast strats. But that requires being very quick in this next screen coming up. An interesting feature of Flash Stopper, it has a 5-second timer for which the screen is frozen, right? But that timer doesn't run down while you're sliding. So there we go, Fast able to get through that on only 1 bright. Because, so like, a lot of the key of effective Flash Stopper usage is your slide chaining. Ooh, jveth having to watch this proto cutscene. So not only is he down some time from the game over, he's also down some time from watching that proto cutscene, and on top of that, also down some time from extra lag through the rest of the stage.
Right. Time for the hardest boss in all of Classic
Oh
Mega.
no, jveth running up against the interesting properties of the slide here. You really need a lot of you need a lot of room to come out of slides when you're in those slide tunnels.
And Fast finishes up with Mega Man 4 on to Mega Man 5.
Yeah, Mega Man 5 is a game that Fast's been grinding a little bit lately, so I'm expecting great things. Well, here we go. You actually see the big penguin machines here. Imagine that, right?
Yes, those are penguins, not disrupted
They're not
fake
jumbled.
tiles.
Alright, so a big thing about Mega Man 5 versus Mega Man 4, the Charge Buster is way more useful.
However, there's a catch to it.
Well, yeah, you don't charge while you're sliding, and you also lose your charge when you take a hit. So, even though it's got a lot wider utility than it has in Mega Man 4, it's a little bit more particular to use.
Yeah, a few sections that you just have to walk rather than slide forward just to make sure that you have a charge so that you can kill enemies faster.
Mm-hmm. Another interesting difference from Mega Man 4 to 5, Mega Man 5 has iframes for every enemy in the game.
Right, yeah, so you can't mash through any enemy, you actually need to time it slightly. Or just charge them.
Yeah. A lot of enemies end up just taking charge shot hits again. Like, that's just another way that the charge shot becomes more useful. Because it's
Round
only
2.
1 hit instead of 3 lemons, right?
Right.
Alright, so it looks like jveth is finally going to get this Gemini fight down. He's going to be heading into Needleman stage next. Which is a much easier stage than Gemini. It should be a little bit of a break stage. You just got to worry about the fight at the end.
Now you saw Fast doing these little hops, and he got it. He got the gravity skip. He was doing those little hops there right at the end, and by doing that right before it goes to the fanfare, it causes Mega Man to not have the gravity effects from Starman stage, so you can actually clear the screen faster.
Alright, so you're going to see the first arrow usage here. Super Arrow is the real weapon that you get from beating Starman. Oh, I might have lied. We might see Faster Net instead.
We might see Faster Net instead. In the meantime, Needle Stage, we said, is a lot simpler than what Gemini's would be. It's a lot shorter as well. It's one of the shortest in the game.
Alright. So yeah, we got jveth coming in. This is the one, like, sort of dangerous room in the stage here, because there's the needles, and then there's this pit underneath them. And a lot of the time, if you're trying to go fast, you'll try to go too fast, or you'll not mind the 8-frame rule, and you'll end up knocked down into the pit. Here, like this needle right here is so evil.
Yes. And that was a good E-tank, I feel. Like,
yeah,
that's
in a rest of the stage, which is really benign compared to the rest of the game, right? That's just a really cruel room. All right, looks
Fast
like
fighting Gravity.
Yeah, Gravity is a scripted fight. There's no real way to make it faster than what Fast just did.
Now, what you didn't see throughout that is a bit of Super Arrow usage. As you're saying, Super Arrow makes the game a lot faster. You just essentially shoot it and ride it, and it just shoots you through the stage.
jveth with some very dangerous strats here versus New Duo Man.
Duo Man, yes. Shouts to Duo.
Well, okay, so he's got him down. So you can start that fight a little bit more reliably by doing a couple there, and then jumping and doing a shot. That means that you'll always hit the first shot, and then you can read the jump height and see where you need to place your second. Here we got Super Arrow usage from Fast here.
Now you see him walking off the front of the Super Arrow, because just like in Mega Man 3 with Jet, Super Arrow only wastes ammo, I guess, while you're standing on it, or it doesn't.
Yeah, it only drains ammo while you're standing on it, so you want to walk continuously off the edge, and it just zips you back on.
And that way it preserves just enough ammo to be able to use it on another screen or two.
Yeah. Alright. So this is an interesting thing about Mega Man 5. Normally you would be collecting these beat letters in RTA, because beat makes the castles a lot easier, and for some people faster as well. But in a Robot Masters race, or in a Robot Masters run, you don't need to worry about the letters. So there are a couple of things that are made possible by this. Mainly the time saves in 8 Robos for not picking up letters are in Crystal Man, which you'll see very soon, and in Stone Man. Very interesting things happen in Crystal Man. Hopefully we'll get to see that happen. This is a fight that takes about the same amount of time no matter what. Just keep him in iframes with the gravity hold.
You do have exact ammo, though, so you have to make sure that you time it correctly, otherwise you lose a fair amount of time just from him not being able to hit.
Alright, jveth coming up to this... Ooh, okay.
Playing a little safe on those.
Potentially stressful second half of Snake here.
Yeah.
You gotta be careful going over these pits that are coming up, and especially that pit right next to the checkpoint itself. Alright. He's got Fast taking damage, he's preparing for the death that's going to trigger this warp. Alright, so he's gonna use the 3-arrow setup. Alright, so basically what's happening here is Fast has killed himself on the same frame as that ball and cup guy on the right spawns. And what that does is it fills up all of the object slots with Mega Man's explosion bubbles. And then the second half, the ball, tries to spawn. And it can't spawn in any of the object slots, so it overflows into Mega Man's position data. And it writes some absurdly long, high number into Mega Man's screen counter, and it writes the object ID of the enemy into the respawn timer. So that's why you wait 45 seconds to get back into the game, and that's also why you end up at the boss gate.
Just skip the entire stage. Now, normally, most people would not skip that in speedrun because you need to get the letter for beat. There are a few people that will run it beatless and do Crystal Warp instead, but it's rare to see that.
Crystal Warp is like the majority of the time save for Beatless.
Right. The big issue with Beatless is the wily fight in the end. Just lots of randomness that Beat overcomes.
jveth running into some weapon selection difficulties here on Spark Stage. It is his last Robot Master in Mega Man 3, so he'll be moving on to Mega Man 4 soon. Meanwhile, we got Fast coming into Napalm Stage. This can be a dangerous stage, especially near the end. There are some decently dangerous pits, and this section can trip people up as well if they don't space their shots out right.
Very good. Yeah, most people, as they're learning it, they'll actually spawn a third drill in that hallway, like right at the end. So you got to be wary of that.
Yeah, you run into it and die. It's the worst feeling ever.
It's the worst feeling. Absolutely, same here. So, like for me personally, I just baited out instead rather than going for it. Just waited it out.
Okay, so Fast is at very low health here. Oh, yeah. Okay, so that's something. Fortunately, the checkpoint is right there, so he only has to go through one extra screen here.
Yeah, the only difference is he doesn't have super arrow, and he now has to kill or damage boost via the rockets that these enemies have. If he touches them, they deal a lot more damage than the rockets will.
Yeah, so Gravity Hold makes this second half of the stage a little bit easier here. Oh, not quite getting under the Stomper there. Alright, jveth having some difficulty taking a death on the pit in the last screen of Spark. This is a dangerous, dangerous screen if you don't know what you're doing, but an easy screen once you do. So it's a very interesting example of speedrunning making a game easier.
Looks like we may be having some more faster net, unfortunately.
Alright, so he's through. He's going to fight Spark, and then he's going to be into Mega Man 4. This fight is kind of interesting. More for full game RTA than for, like, Robot Masters. He has, like, set jump patterns, but how many he does at the start of the fight is randomized. You got to be able to account for that. Alright, so here we are, going into Mega Man 4. Be interesting to see which stage he does next. Alright, looks like we got Fast back. He's through Napalm. Napalm's an interesting fight. Maybe we'll get to talk about it later when jveth gets there. But here's Stone Stage. Stone Stage is very difficult. Probably, I would say, the most difficult stage that you do in an 8 Robot Master run in Mega Man 5.
I would agree.
Crystal is more dangerous for my money, but you don't do it, so there we go. Very smooth movement so far. Killing Squeaks, that's the most important part.
And once again, running off the arrow just so he can preserve as much ammo as he can.
Yeah, he needs to have 3 arrows for this screen here. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Right along the top, and you just avoid this whole section here, which will kill people.
Yes. A good backup for that, though, is just swap to Gravity Hold, and then you just kill everything as you go through.
Yeah. Rush Jet can get over it as well sometimes. You're using Jet to skip a couple of those platforms. Alright, so we got jveth moving through Brightman Stage. Crossing with these grasshoppers. Bright Stage can be very dangerous when you don't know the speed strats. Another stage that I think gets easier with the speed strats, actually.
I agree. Stone is a fairly simple fight. He's got 2 patterns, or I guess 3 with his attack. He's got 2 jump patterns, a large one and a small one. You want the small one to happen because then you can just continuously hit him.
Oh, okay. So this shot is okay. Okay, it's giving me a little bit of a heart attack, just like it did Proto last time. All right. So
we're fine.
Crisis averted. We're alive. We're into this fight, and we'll see if jveth is also able to avoid the flash pattern. We got Fast coming into Charge Man stage. I'd better ask him in chat if he has a dedication.
To the chicken room, always a dedication. You notice that some, like, right here, he's not actually running off the end of this super arrow, but that's just because the screen is so long that it won't make a difference.
Yeah, so well, it's like his last arrow, so it doesn't matter at all.
That as well, but even if he had full ammo, it would have just totally destroyed it by the time it finished, so there's no point in doing that.
Yeah. Here's the chicken room.
Oh, and jveth is out of Bright.
Yep. Here we go. He's got Flash Stopper, which is going to make the rest of the game a lot easier. This is a very good stage so far from Fast.
Yes.
Just a couple of hiccups in the chicken room itself.
This is one of those stages that, like...
And then a hiccup just as soon as I said something. No big deal. We'll see if he's able to get the very fast version of this Stone Man fight. Sorry, this Charge Man fight.
And nah, it's Stone Man. The weapon you have to use.
Yeah, exactly.
This fight is pretty terrible.
Oh, this fight, like, is the most annoying thing. So you see he's having to do a bunch of extra pauses here. Normally you see him shooting Power Stone at very, very specific spacing, sorry. And that's to make sure that he has to pause to refresh the screen the minimum number of times. Meanwhile, we've got jveth picking up Balloon, and he's heading into the second half of Pharaoh stage. Oh no! That's actually the easiest, that's the least costly death I can think of in Mega Man 4. So.
Right.
Alright. Here we go. On to these hovercraft here. Dropping Fast stream again.
Faster net.
Faster net indeed. There's a reason he's got an emote for Faster net.
Looks like jveth is opting to not use the charge shot, so it makes me wonder if he's more used to the mechanics of 1, 2, and 3.
Possibly.
Oftentimes runners from one side or the other, 4, 5, or 6, or 1, 2, and 3, try and have a issue with the other half of the game series. Charge shot like being one of those.
Is going to be making rare use of Flash Stopper versus Pharaoh Man here. Flash Stopper is actually Pharaoh Man's weakness. It freezes him in his tracks, making it very easy for you to do the fight, but is very slow, simply because you can only do 1 damage at a time with the Buster. So this is going to make the fight a lot easier for jveth here, but it's going to lose him some time versus a conventional Buster or Dust fight.
Meanwhile, what happened with Fast while he was offline? Basically...
He skipped some bubbles, and then he skipped the boat.
He did do that indeed. Normally you would be on a boat here for this section, but with some super arrow placements and a well-timed slide, you can actually jump through the screen transition and not take the boat, which saves a little bit of time and makes this section a lot easier. However, it is risky to do that because you can soft lock very, very easily if you don't hit the screen transition in the air.
Yeah. If you don't hit the screen transition, then Mega Man will keep trying to jump into the boat, and he keeps trying and goes off the screen and keeps jumping forever. and you never get control back. So you just have to reset and password back in and feel like an idiot. Alright, so Fast is at very low HP. It's going to be interesting to see what he does here. He picks up a 1-up, so he's not in trouble, but...
MM5 reference.
Interesting. I feel like usually when people are worried about their HP, they start the fight with Buster. Because it helps with the spacing. But it looks like he's got a good handle on things. Just move straight on to Mega Man 6. Oh, jveth having some difficulty with this ring climb. This ring climb is very... especially if you're not using either Flash or Balloon. Flash Stopper can make these screens very easy, because the main danger is the enemies who are shooting at you and knocking you off ledges. Alright, so there are a number of changes in Mega Man 6, and I think I'm going to let you be the person to talk about them most.
Here's my game.
Yeah,
after
here
all
we go.
this time. Alright, so the most notable thing in Mega Man 6 from 4 and 5 is, again, the slide. In Mega Man 6, you cannot jump out of a slide like you did in the other 3 sliding Megas. Instead, you have slide canceling. If you hit A, it'll cancel your slide, so you have to either double tap A to jump out of a slide, or you have to hit back from the direction you're sliding, and to do a turn cancel. And getting consistent at both of those is very tricky to do. Doing movement in Mega Man 6 is the hardest part of the run. To get it all correctly. You just bleed frames everywhere if you don't slide chain correctly and can't get your cancels down. Windman stage is largely just a Buster stage, regardless of where you would do it in a route. There's really one other route. If you did Flame first, it's about the same time. But you still use Buster through, just hands down the fastest way to go through.
Alright, I'm going to interrupt you briefly,
Sure.
because jveth is having an interesting Ringman stage. Ringman is a super dangerous stage. Like, Ring and Dust are my votes for the 2 most dangerous Robot Master stages in Mega Man 4. And he's going to have to do them both now, coming up in a row. It's a bit of a gauntlet, actually. And then you get a break for Skull Stage.
Yeah.
You see Fast running against the right-hand side of the boss room there just after the boss explosion, because, inexplicably, because Mega Man 6 is so well-programmed, it causes, it reduces lag.
Only on the right side, though. If you did that on the left, it won't do anything. So you want to hope that you kill him while Mega Man is on the right side of the screen, so that you can run or jump against the right wall to reduce the lag there.
Mm-hmm. jveth taking what I think was probably a deliberate death there to reset his HP for the ring fight. So now he's going to do a more conventional ring fight. Maybe keeping his distance, though. In order, like, you can abuse this double charge thing with Pharaoh against Ring, but it involves staying close, and staying close is dangerous. Oh, no!
Ooh.
So we got a double KO, but double KOs
KO.
don't do anything in Mega Man 4. You just die.
Yeah. Roland, how dare you?
It's interesting how many enemies in some of the later Mega Man games have names. Given to them by runners. No such thing really exists in RTA for Mega Man 1 through 4. I don't know, maybe we're just less creative.
Maybe. Flameman stage is a very, basic get through, slide, Buster everything. There's no reason to use Windstorm. It's actually a pretty bad weapon. It's very laggy, so you pretty much only use it for the flame fight.
Such a fun stage, though.
Oh, it is a fun stage if you do it correctly.
Top 10 Robot Masters in the whole series, if you ask me.
I'm not going to make a comment because I'm super biased on this game. Now, with Flame Man, you're kind of hoping that he stays in place like he did with these fireballs. He's got 3 patterns. He can either do the fireballs, the flame walls, or he can jump. And he can do either a small jump or a high jump. So you're hoping that if he does jump, he jumps very low so that you can hit him quickly, since Windstorm travels along the ground.
Unfortunate thing about the ring fights, like the ring mini bosses in this stage, it's kind of obnoxious. They even if you freeze it in place. Oh, he's farming against the missiles. That's brilliant.
That is brilliant.
I love this.
I would have never thought to do.
Oh, okay.
I would have never thought to do something like that.
That's incredible. Okay. So that death doesn't cost him much because the checkpoints are right there.
Right.
Fast and Blizzard Man. We got jveth coming up on this section in Ring again. This is a dangerous section because of the pits and the disappearing platform, the disappearing bridges here.
Now with Blizzard Man's stage, this is a very interesting stage. Like I said earlier, you have the 2 different types of canceling, so you can get out of your slide. However, since you have ice physics here, if you try to turn cancel, you'll actually just boomerang back the direction that you were coming from. So if you want to... ooh, that's an unfortunate death. I'll explain
I think he took the death on purpose in order to get try butter again. Oh, never mind.
Nah, you wouldn't have the ammo for that.
Yeah.
But the other slide that you want to do in this stage particularly, you want to do a cancel. The reason being, if you a cancel, you actually keep your forward momentum when you slide on the ice, versus the turn cancel. So you had to adapt to using that one a few times here instead. Now, butter, as was alluded to, butter is where you get underneath the spikes at the very end of the submarine section without stopping. You can slide underneath them without stopping. It's very tight. However, what happened to Fast is a sub-pixel thing. It's a 14% chance. And he got clipped into the spike pit below instead.
jveth finally.
Out of ring.
This
We're out of ring.
Incredibly brutal ring fight. Like, until you learn the speed strats, ring fight is impossible.
That is hands down one of the hardest fights in 4, in my opinion, without learning it.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. This is just, yeah, it's out of control. Alright, so he's gonna be moving on to Dustman now, which is, like, not giving him a break at all.
No.
He's going from one impossible stage to another. Meanwhile, Fast coming up on another stage.
Plant Man. This is one of the hardest stages. I'd probably say
in Classic Mega.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess in Classic Mega. In this game, it's probably the second in the entire game. The hardest being X4. But there's a lot of different things you have to do in this stage. A lot of charge strats you have to do, a lot of flame strats, and very tricky platforming that you see later on. Oh, he got the late bullet on the turret at the beginning of that room. If the turret can fire either early or late. If it fires late, then you can jump up and slide underneath it. You have just enough time to slide underneath it.
I think that jveth thought that there was something up there.
On the other side, yeah.
There, but there isn't actually. That's something that I thought as a kid too. It's like, oh, I'm gonna get over there. I got over there. There's no screen transition. It's like, oh.
I mean, Pharaoh Man had one.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like it's trickery.
It's trickery.
All right, Fast is probably gonna do platforms, eh? It's gonna be interesting to see that. So these platforms suck.
They are very tricky.
You have to open them up with Buster and walk across them. Or, if you are very good, you have a very small window. Oh, jveth's having some trouble here. Fast, obviously, taking a death.
So,
yeah.
what happened with the platforms? As Fatso is saying, normally what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to use one of the weapons, mostly Buster, to open up those platforms. You shoot them, and they open up. However, you don't have to do that. You can just jump on them unopened. However, you only have 4 frames to jump on those platforms. And that is only if you are standing still. If you are moving on them, however, it reduces it down to 2 frames, which is why I think Fast died there. He was holding forward, and he missed his input on it because it reduced the frames that he had to actually work with. Oh, that is unfortunate as well.
Oh, okay. jveth taking a page out of the book of Fast Crusher there, and doing a quick slide shot just before getting crushed to get through. Pretty much no matter what happens, if you do a shot and then a slide with Ring right before getting crushed, you're gonna get through at that part, so thankfully jveth able to get through.
Yeah, it's pretty lenient for what the Crusher is.
Shooting down that Stomper to avoid having to go under it. Alright, so here we got Fast coming up on platforms, try number 3. Makes me wonder if he's just going to do Buster Strats this time around to make sure.
Knowing him, I doubt it.
Well, yes. jveth, I think, taking a deliberate death here to reset his HP.
Looks like it. Again, Dust sucks.
Oh, no! Dude, Plant sucks.
Like I said, Plant is one of the hardest stages to get used to. Again, 6 has a lot different physics with like its slide and everything. Oh, another thing about 6, Mega Man is a lot heavier in 6 than in the other games. So swapping over to how that feels compared to 5 games previous is a little tricky to get used to in 46.
Yeah. I don't know. Mega Man's wearing his lead boots from Mega Man 6.
Apparently, yeah. Basically, if you took like the fall speed of Mega Man 2 and had that permanently, that's how Mega Man 6 kind of feels.
Yeah. Alright, so here we see the way that the stage is quote-unquote supposed to be played. You open up those platforms, you walk across them. Here we got some Charge Buster shots. Okay, so now we got the Plant Man fight. He's going to be trying to position himself in a very particular way for this first hit of the Plant Man fight. If he jumps right, it's super free. If he jumps left, it's less free.
Right. So given he jumped left.
Yeah.
Didn't quite get it. Basically what happens if you stand on a very specific pixel in Plant Man, and actually this will work with Blizzard Man and Nightman as well, and Yamato, I believe. Any boss that runs, it will confuse the game if you're standing on that pixel. The game doesn't know where Mega Man is at, and so they just run across the bottom of the screen if that is their next action. We can guarantee that with Plant because he is always going to run after he throws the plant barrier. So we can just go and stand on that pixel and make him run across the bottom and kill him very quickly.
jveth looks like he's after the E-Tank here, or perhaps... Yeah. Not a bad idea. Bosses in Mega Man 4 hit really hard. All of them except for Pharaoh Man do 8 damage on contact, and Mega Man only has 28 HP at full. So... Alright, so Fast is taking on Tomahawk stage, which is a bit of a break stage if you ask me as well. Like,
yeah,
it's not so hard.
The beginning of the stage has a lot of
Mashing
that you have to do. But after you get past the first screen, like after that it's just, we're gonna continue. Oh hey,
he's doing some sick ladder jumps.
Why not, right? There's 2 for 2 so far. So those ladder jumps, if done optimally, save 11 frames from climbing up the ladders, but it's based on a very interesting thing that happens in 6. When you go down off of a ladder, you have 3 standing frames. Like Mega Man actually stands in the air for 3 frames, and from there you can actually jump up off of it. So it's very precise on how you have to do it, but certainly doable.
So if you forget to hold to let go of down during those frames, does Mega Man actually slide?
You do need, yeah. Or what do you mean, like by that?
During those standing frames, if you forget to let go of down, does Mega Man slide?
Yes, he does slide. I actually specifically tried to do that to see if you could, and yes, you can do that. You only go forward like 3 pixels or something, but
yeah, that's pretty funny.
It is doable.
Oh God! Okay, so this fight is really scary.
Oh my God. What are you doing fast?
Okay, he's through. So
okay.
Tomahawk is a very dangerous fight.
Tomahawk is probably I would say, the hardest Buster fight in 6. He attacks very quickly and does a lot of damage quickly. And they give you the weapon that you have to kill him with exact ammo, and you have to be right next to him to kill him.
Yeah. So, jveth through Skull. He's going to be going into Dive Man stage now.
See if he uses some bright strats here.
Okay.
Now, Yamato's stage is a pretty short stage as far as 6 goes. Not a whole lot happens in it. This Dragonfly room is a bit random and a little scary in some regard, but after that, it's just kind of sliding through the rest of it and a bit of jetting at the end, and that's it.
I don't think I've ever seen that fish jump out there in Dive Man. You see he did the little slide wiggle there? This is like a fish jumping out of nowhere. It was great. So here you're going to use Bright pretty heavily in Dive Stage, just to make all of the sections with enemies a lot faster and easier. Also makes the whale mini-bosses very much more possible.
Yes, just given they throw out a couple of different attacks that are not that easy to avoid.
Yeah. Alright, so here we're going to see the patented fastatcc Yamato fight.
I'm gonna be disappointed if he doesn't get his own fight. Should I be disappointed?
Here we go.
I shouldn't be disappointed in that. Oh, there it is!
Okay, there we go!
2, 3, 4 hits.
Fast is well known for taking damage in Yamato fight.
That is widely considered one of the easiest fights by most people. For some reason, it's Fast's hardest fight in this game. So, whatever. He has his patented fight, fastatcc Yamato.
Alright. So jveth, very low HP coming through this section. And also using Bright. So using Bright is something that's very tempting for this screen, but it's dangerous because it means that this mine right here that he just killed himself against is always in a bad position.
Right. Since it will not actually move anymore.
Yeah. Normally you want to slide under that. Okay, so here we go.
See if you get ceiling skip.
Easy every time.
Easy every time. So basically all you have to do there is just have good movement, and then right before you have the ceiling touch you and kill you, you pause, and in that pause, the ceiling still moves while you are now invincible, and it allows you to just continue afterwards without dying.
Don't do this while you're not sliding.
You have to slide, yes. If you don't slide,
then the ceiling will just kill you. And you can't move.
Now, the easy way to do that, you can just straight up run into that drill there and just take the damage boost that way. That's the easy way. You don't even have to worry about pausing on time or anything. Just take the damage boost and you're free.
Oh. It's unfortunate we don't get to see the patented mad nerds.
Mad nerds. Yeah, there's a way that with Yamato Spear, it actually has 2 different trajectories when you fire it, just an up and a down. And you want your Yamato Spears to be down when you go into that screen so that you can hit the first Mad Nerd with a double shot very quickly, and with the second shot, it would continue on to the second one. But it's very, very tight timing. You have only a couple of frames to do it correctly in.
Alright. And then Nightman fight's pretty simple. You just, like, don't want jumps.
Right, that's the unfortunate thing about him, is he's just jumps a lot. However, the funny thing is, if you actually decide to buster him, that's what you want to have happen, is jump, because then you can actually shoot him underneath his shield while he's jumping.
Okay. So he's gonna get through the screen.
Yeah, he has a lot more
Is he
health
gonna
this
be-
time, so...
Oh. He keeps scrolling that ray back on screen. Yeah. One of the unfortunate things about NES games in particular is that, you know, the enemies come back. Ooh, very nice jump underneath the Metroid there.
Oh, he gets a
And then he
Miracle Jump,
does it.
yes. Miracle Jump is a very scary trick. Oh, unfortunate.
Well, twice in a row! Yo, what a guy.
What a guy. The thing with Miracle Jump, if you jump too late on that, you can't just like hold right, do a full slide, and then jump out of it, because if you jump at that point, for some reason the game applies water physics to you, and so you'll just end up floating straight up into the Metroid that's above you, and you'll instantly die from it. So you actually have to either set it up with a slide sooner than that, so you don't just continuously hold right, you drop a bit first, or you have to slide cancel and jump at the right spot in order for it to work. So it's very tricky to get past.
Okay. That deboost is terrifying.
Across the spikes. The thing that happened there, though, is he didn't get a reverse damage boost.
Yeah.
And
then he went anyways. I guess he just didn't notice in time or something.
Yeah. Those few extra, pixels that the reverse damage boost gives you makes a huge difference across the spikes. jveth going into the dive fight now.
Yeah. Dive fight looks very dangerous, but once you've got it down, it's always the same.
Easiest thing.
Yeah, it's always the same. The only thing is, like, dive comes in pretty fast.
Right.
It's just... Alright.
Strategic E-Tank, though, that's
okay.
fine.
Here we go. We're good. jveth through Dive Man. He's got 6 robos down, just 2 more to go in Mega Man 4. And a couple more games to go after that.
There we go, that's the correct boost to get across the spikes. Yeah, spike skip is a pretty scary one to get used to.
Alright. Worth mentioning, of course, this is Fast's last stage.
Yes,
He's going to be
he will be
the entire race very soon here. Taking a second try at that ladder jump.
I mean, you gotta go for it.
Oh, of course. For the fans, man.
Absolutely. You get the reverse damage boost on the squid as well.
Yeah, well, that's one that you don't want to kill, especially since you got Night Crush out, and it takes like 7 hits.
Now, Centaur fight, Centaur can be a big jerk, or he can be very nice. You want him to run at you, because then that means you can hit him.
Okay.
Just like what's happening here.
Fast finishing at like 149.07. Let's see what his time says. 149.09 according to RaceBot.
That's not bad.
That's
Sub
a
2 hours.
very good time.
That's a very good time.
That's better than most people's PBs.
Right, yeah, no, that is an excellent time.
Alright, So let's all join in cheering on jveth here as he comes through drill stage. Drill stage can be pretty dangerous, especially at the very end. If your slide chaining's not good in that last screen, it will be very, very dangerous. Looks like he's gonna buster these turrets instead of riding them. Trying to conserve that last bit of ammo.
Yeah, it'll make the last screen much, much easier if he conserves it for there instead. Not a bad strategy, switching to ring though. Do some extra damage still on these other enemies.
Oh, taking some damage from these roly-polies is not great, because if you don't have enough bright to get through this section, you're probably going to take hits. Oh! Fortunately, he's going to respawn right there, like just in the previous screen, so it's not so bad.
Yeah, drill is a pretty punishing stage if you die.
If you die before the checkpoint,
before that.
Oh my god, the room right before the checkpoint is kind of hard and will kill you sometimes, and then you lose like a minute.
The room, yeah, the interesting thing though is that the checkpoint is so far in this stage, because I mean, this is the last screen here. So it's, only 2 out, so it's very far in, so it's,
It reminds me of Flame checkpoint, actually.
Yeah. That one's pretty far in.
Ooh, jveth taking a lot of damage here. He's got an E-tank that he picked up in the stage. Yeah, okay, see him using it right now. For people not confident with using Bright in this screen, I would almost suggest using Skull Barrier, because you can block the rocks falling down that way and not have to kill them or bait them out like that.
I'm not sure if a lot of people who are new to it actually know that you can kill the rocks. I didn't actually for the longest time. And I accidentally killed it once and was like, oh wow, this is a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. So... Yeah.
Alright, so here is Drillman. Drillman's dangerous, especially if you don't know how to buffer out the waiting time for the dives. He's just going to stay moving instead, which is an okay alternate strategy as long as he doesn't turn around right as Drill's coming up.
Right.
Oh, Dive Missile, please! Dive Missile is notoriously bad at tracking. But Drill's down, and we're good to go.
What's interesting is Dive Missile only does 3 damage, rather than 4 like most weaknesses do.
Yeah.
Now, the easy way that you can buffer Drill is you can actually just jump 5 times as soon as his feet touch the ground, or go underground. If you just jump 5 times, and on that 5th one you just move, Drill will just appear right where you were just at. It's fairly simple thing to get used to.
4 full jumps and then move on the 5th. Move.
Coming up into Toadman stage, which has the gimmick of the rain pushing back on you, so you got to be careful of that.
Yeah. Like right there. It can help to slide off of those ledges a little bit before jumping.
Yeah, if you know the timing for it, it gets a little easier in my opinion.
Yeah. And in most Mega Man games, you have a little bit longer that you can slide off of an edge than you can run off of it. So, and then if you jump out of the slide, it becomes a little bit easier. Optimally, you want to be using Bright through that screen so that you're not getting knocked back by enemies. We'll see if jveth is able to do that here.
Got the chat cheering. Go jveth, go.
Absolutely. I'm going to join in. Go jveth,
Absolutely.
go. Okay. Looks like we're using some coil strats to get through here. There we go.
Not a bad way to do it. If
Not
you're
a bad
used
idea
to.
at all.
Now, okay, now it's actually showing off something that's really interesting about Coil, or I guess Rush in Mega Man 4. If you take a hit while you have Rush out, Rush teleports to wherever Mega Man is at. And so, like, with the Coil, it instantly uses the Coil, like, no matter where you're standing. Rush is all of a sudden on top of you, and you're all of a sudden in the air.
And that's actually a strat that Pharaoh First runners use in 1 through 6 runs like this, and in races and whatever. You can just like set down Rush and then try the slide jump, and if you get hit on the way, then Rush will teleport to you, and you coil off, and you're fine.
You're fine. It's just a save. However, sometimes, if you're not used to it, it can actually backfire on you and cause you to go places you didn't want to be.
All right. Here we see jveth actually fighting these snails. Normally you would skip them by flashing before they touch the ground, but
you do have to be careful when you flash
an element of danger there. If you flash at the wrong time, then...
Yeah, if you flash on the first frame when you enter, it actually... They aren't skippable, or rather, I think it soft locks it.
Yeah, it soft locks if you flash like on the frame you touch the ground or something like that. Or if you swapped to flash on your jump down to the screen transition, then if you do that, if you do it on the first frame, then it's a soft lock. It's very odd.
Right.
It's something that catches people up sometimes when they die, and then they want to try the second skip again, right from the checkpoint.
Yeah, because they'll often like mash through it, and then
suddenly, oh wait, I can't move.
I can't move.
All right. So a death against Toad. That's not too bad, honestly. He's right there. It was right at the beginning of the fight.
I mean,
Toad is a manipulated. Yeah, Toad is a manipulable boss, but still hits hard, just like any of the other ones. So
yes. Yeah, Toad reacts to whenever you press the B button. So you can just manipulate him knowing that. And he doesn't move if he takes damage, so you pretty much just need to hit him once and...
Alright, jveth is through 4 games, and he's moving on to his 5th. What's there to say about Starman? Starman's stage is really hard.
It has the best music.
Starman's stage is really, really hard. Yes, and Star Song is a thing.
Yeah, Starman has has a lot of bullets on screen at once. A lot of turrets and things that fire at you, and...
Yeah, and you really, really, really have to have disciplined use of the charge shot if you want to go through this stage fast. If you take your time, it's not so bad, I guess. But that's one of the hardest screens in the game right there, if you ask me. The one that jveth just did. Okay, so he's to the checkpoint, which means that should be okay if he takes an accidental death. This is a really dangerous room with all the spikes. You gotta be very careful about your jump heights. Actually, there's spikes all over the place in this level. It's terrifying. Oh! Coming up a little bit short on landing on the platform there. Alright. As we've mentioned before, there's some minor differences in physics in Mega Man 5, and there's also some major differences in the way the charge shot works. Charge shot does not charge while you're sliding, and if you get hit, then you lose your charge. So it becomes very particular trying to keep your charge in this game and get your charge to a level that you want. Especially since the Charge Buster is so useful. It's like you need to be very careful about what you're doing at any given moment. Looks like he's going to try and kill the walker, decides to just go over it instead. Starman fight is an interesting fight. This is another fight that gets way easier with speedrun strats.
Yes.
Because if you don't know the basics of what Starman's going to do, then you're going to get lost, and you're going to waste a bunch of time, and the longer you're fighting Starman, the more dangerous it is, I feel.
Yeah, if you get the fight done correctly, you can actually shoot through Starman's shield. You put Mega Man's arm like inside of it, and you can just shoot him at any given point.
Yeah. The Charge Buster has such a good hitbox. You can do it with lemons too, but it's a lot more particular.
Right.
So I don't think jveth is going to know the gravity skip here. But that basically, like, randomly, if you just, like, end a fight normally, then randomly the the game will either apply space gravity or not during that fall there. And in that case, it did. Okay, so gravity stage coming up here. Fast already finished.
Fast has finished, yes. He was too fast. You had a 149. 149.09? Okay, since I forgot what the seconds were.
Okay, so gravity stage has got an interesting gimmick where you where you flip the gravity several times throughout. Interesting to note, actually, you can ride arrows when the gravity is normal, but when it's reversed, you can't.
Right. It's like they only accounted for Mega Man being able to stand on one side of the arrow.
I guess so. Alright. He's gonna coil. Oh no! Coil hitbox strikes again! So Coil in this game is really bad and has a tiny hitbox and is impossible to get on top of. jveth is taking a little bit, staring blankly into space there for a couple moments to just take in what he just saw there. Yeah, you don't want to use Coil. If you're using Coil, you're dead.
Mega Man 5 Coil is something else.
Like, incredulous. Okay.
Yeah, so rather than having you go in the air, as you see, Rush goes up with you instead. And I mean, the difference between that is you can jump off of him after that, but using it is something else.
Well, in theory, it's a super useful, like, rush item.
Yeah, in theory, it just
It's just the hitbox is tiny. It's impossible to get on. Okay. He's just waiting for these guys. They will always home on your position, so you can sick them out to where they're easier to hit. So he's going to use Star Crash here for this boss fight. This is a scripted fight, as I said, so if you know the pattern, then you can always get hits. Oh.
Even then, it's still a pretty safe fight. Like with his
a lot
shots,
of people prefer to keep their distance, and then use the and then press a B again. You can throw the Star Crash and hit Gravity Men from a distance, which makes it a little bit easier. Okay, so he's going to be going into Gyro now, probably. It's an interesting It's an interesting stage. It's a very difficult stage in some ways. But if you get the arrows, then it becomes significantly less difficult. Alright, so this stage is all in the air. There's pits everywhere. There's enemies everywhere. It's just a pain to do. So we'll see how jveth is able to handle it.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the more difficult ones in this game casually. Just so many things that can knock you into a pit instantly. Oh, that's unfortunate.
Taking that jump just slightly short.
And unfortunately not quite at the checkpoint, so I'll have to go through the auto-scroller again.
Yeah, well, it's not much of an auto-scroller. It's really just like a little cutscene.
Right, that's true.
Alright. Just waiting on this shield enemy. If you get right up in their faces, you can actually use the buster through their shield. That's very difficult. No dedication for this chicken room, though.
Nah, it's not the right one. Ooh. One thing to note right there, he actually almost missed the ladder. Because in this game, you cannot grab ladders above the screen. So you actually will just fly straight over it. I've died many times to that just because I'm used to being able to do that from 6. Mm-hmm. But, I can't in this one. So I oftentimes, in that specific ladder that he did it on, is the one that I always die to. I just sail straight over the thing and go into the pit.
You know what the hell of it also is? At the same time, you also want to be grabbing ladders as high as possible.
As high as possible.
Because they put you up higher on the next screen. Oh my god, what a clutch!
The clutch! What a god.
Dude, this guy's a god gamer.
Man, we need to get this guy in on bingo. He needs to do the goal of go all the way forward and back on gyro without using arrow or jet.
Ooh.
Or the gyro block screen.
Yeah, anyway. that'd be really fun. It's actually a pretty good bingo goal. All right, so he's gonna have probably an easier time of the of this fight than the previous ones. As long as you just give some extra time to let the iframes run out, then you're fine with this fight. Yeah, there we go. He's taking it nice and patiently, making sure he sees the iframes gone. Bam, just like that. Easy fight, easy life.
And that's honestly a good thing to do, especially if you're starting out doing something like 46, because the timing is going to be different for iframes on all the bosses in each game, or not all the bosses in each game. For this one, it's pretty short, but you go to 6 after this, and it's like a full second between each versus a half second in another.
Yeah, it's very weird. Iframes for bosses change every single game for no rhyme or reason.
And just because they wanted to, I guess.
Yeah, well, and Mega Man 1 has 4 different sets of iframes for enemies as well.
Right, yeah. Each boss has their own iframe setting.
I don't know. Yeah, so it looks like jveth is doing the crystal skip. So he's going to be doing the stage in full. It's an interesting stage. It's a super dangerous stage. So I would recommend anybody who hasn't yet learned the crystal skip definitely do so. It's going to save you a lot of time and agony.
Yes, it will.
Sorry, I was directing mostly at entrance when I said that, but yeah, anybody who hasn't learned it, even for casual play, like, would be pretty cool. Looks like we're accidentally tripping some more emulator shortcuts. Thankfully, nothing that's like accidentally loading a state or whatever. That would be killer. Loading a state from like half an hour earlier in the run. Alright. It's taking it nice and slow. This is a stage that is much easier if you know where to place an arrow to move past these crystal droppers without incident. If you don't know what you're doing with that, then things go poorly. Thankfully, he's through the first one. There's another room. There's spikes on the ground now. And he's got to do another dropper section just like that. And beyond
along with
that,
Crystal Joes.
yeah, there's these Crystal Joes. They're mean.
You can only hit them after they've thrown the crystal.
Yeah. At least they're predictable. Like, it's not like Sniper Joes where...
Just play 6 where you have Turret Joes, and they're only in, like, 2 levels.
Oh, no!
Oh!
Dude, those crystals are just mean. And
now,
that checkpoint is mean. That checkpoint is super rude.
Now, something that someone might do in the while they're learning, is they could just damage boost from the Crystal Joe, and then just that way they'll guarantee themselves getting underneath the falling crystal.
Yeah. Some pretty interesting analyses of the dropping crystals in chat here.
Indeed. Actually, in that first one, if you super arrow through it, you'll guarantee yourself getting through that, like,
yeah,
no matter what. So if you know where the super arrow placement is,
the RTA strats make it safe as long as you nail them. But
right.
Oh, but yeah, like, it's super dangerous, this stage, and that's a really punishing checkpoint. It's like I would almost recommend jveth watch a YouTube video of Crystal Warp right now.
I was going to say, I'll teach it to you through audio if you want. It's not hard. But I mean, I've done that before in races too. I mean, when I was doing a bingo race with, I think it was Papat, somebody anyway, I was doing a bingo race with, and I went to go and get Magna Meme in Mega Man 1, but I forgot how to do it. So I looked it up mid-race and learned it just from that. Going for Star Crash though.
Yeah,
that's
there we go.
A really smart way to go through there.
Yo, Eddie helping out.
What a bro.
Alright. Alright, he's through.
He's through.
Except I think the checkpoint's in the next room.
Okay, I was gonna say, that room actually scares me. With the guy, the duster or whatever, down at the bottom. I have more than once taken damage from that and then just died.
Yeah.
Because I was standing at the wrong spot on the platform.
Alright, cool. Opting not to take the M-Tank. The M-Tank is nice because it acts like a... acts like an E-Tank, but then also refills all your weapons, and I believe it kills all the enemies on the screen when you use it, so it can get you out of a sticky situation. Alright, so this fight is dangerous sometimes. You might want to use one of those E-tanks during it. There we go, using that E-tank. That should guarantee him finishing this stage.
Yeah.
Alright, cool. That's 4 Robot Masters down, 4 to go, and then 1 game after that. So Napalm stage.
MM5 song.
Yeah.
For me, at least, Napalm is the best.
Napalm's really good. Stone's my favorite in Mega Man 5. But
That's a good one as well.
Alright, so the first thing to worry about in this stage are these tigers in this first screen. They will pounce on you if you hit the B button, or if you're holding the B button and you get close enough. So you gotta be very careful about how you approach them. Or else you're just gonna get pounced and killed.
Yeah. Oh, that's a little cruel.
This is just a really cruel screen. Like,
Yeah.
dropping the HP on the spikes is so much like this screen. And unfortunately, he's trying to use gravity, but is not doing enough damage. I think it only does 1 to these guys.
I wonder. So, from some of this, it makes me think that he just has a lack of knowledge on a lot of it. So I'm wondering if he thinks gravity
Yeah, I think he
might
was
be
coming
a bright weapon, but
Yeah,
I could be wrong.
I think I heard that he was coming into almost all of these games blind.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So he's doing very well for that.
Yeah. Probably just has some basic knowledge of like what the route is, but still, for just knowing even just a little on each, that's impressive.
Yeah, I think he's doing quite well, honestly. And
Yeah.
I think that we should all support him as he finishes this run. These
Absolutely.
guys are so terrifying.
Okay, good. He waited for the third one.
Yeah. Alright, we're good. So this Waterfall Room is also terrifying. So we'll see how this goes. This is my vote, actually, for scariest room. Because...
In 5.
Yeah. Because it's right before the checkpoint. And you do some arrows here, right? Which...
Right.
If you're trying to line up for the arrows and you miss one of those guys and he knocks you into the pit, you're right back to the start of the stage and it's awful. Alright, so he's to the checkpoint. He's gonna maybe take deboosts through these guys. No, he's gonna take his time killing them instead.
Yeah, he might get some farm out of it, so who knows?
This is a room where knowing how to use arrow can be super helpful.
Yeah.
Alright, looks like he's gonna grab the 1-up before proceeding. Not a bad idea.
Nah.
Does he know to use gravity in here? No, he's taking deboosts. That's not great. Oh, here we go.
Okay.
Oh, use an E-tank!
Oh my goodness!
Use an E-tank! Oh my god! This is terrifying.
Oh my god! There he goes. Okay.
Alright, we're good now. As long as he doesn't get knocked down into a pit by one of these guys, he should be okay.
Taking it slow, that's good. That's fine.
Yeah. You can actually slide off those edges. It looks like you shouldn't be able to make them, but in Mega Man 3 and 5, you can make slides like that.
Yeah.
And in Mega Man 4, it's based on subpixels.
You will die in 6.
Yeah, you will die in 6. Mega Man was just too heavy. Mega Man, like, MM6, you can barely make the 2 wide ones.
And then you have people like me and Papat Dot who will do 1 block slide cancel off of them, and jump on a flipped platform. Don't do that. Alright, we're at an napalm. One thing that's interesting to note about this weakness here, just like dive against drill, Crystal Eye only does 3 damage instead of 4 to napalm.
Yeah. By the time Mega Man 4 and 5 came out, it was mostly standardized. It was like, okay, we're going to have 28 HP on the bosses, and the weapons are going to do, the weaknesses are going to do 4. And we might have some secondary weaknesses that do 2.
Yeah. Might.
It might.
I was gonna say 6 only has 1 of those.
Usually. But in Mega Man 4 and 5, there's a couple weapons that only do 5. Sorry, only do 3. And there's a couple weapons that, like, for example, Pharaoh Shot only does 2, but you can charge it, and the charge shot does 6. And you can double up that charge and do 12 with only 1 charge, so...
Right.
So Stone Man stage is another really difficult stage. Very technical. It's got a lot to do. And the arrows make it easier. The arrows make it easier. So it'll be interesting to see if jveth knows any of the arrow strats here.
If not arrows, then gravity hold.
Yeah. Alright, most importantly, does he kill Squeaks?
Does he kill Squeaks? It's gonna kill all the Squeaks.
Nope, Squeaks' entire extended family. This wholesale murder there. Leaving only one to tell the tale to future generations of Squeaks.
To tell the tale to the Charge Man Squeaks. Who experience the same thing.
Yeah, as long as they don't tell tales to Roland, right?
Right. Curse you, Roland.
Alright. Looks like he's gonna buster the rest of this stage.
Yeah, that's wise to use gravity hold, at least on that first one.
Yeah. The only thing is that in a speedrun, it can be really helpful to have gravity hold for the very last screen. Here, using Jet to skip those platforms over the pit. It's a good strategy.
Didn't see any Jet usage in 4, a bit in 5, but they actually differ from the Jet in 3 and 6. The 6 especially.
Well, Jet is very different in 6 from anything.
So, yeah. But in 3, you have the standard rush Jet, but you can go anywhere with it. It's kind of broken. In 4 and 5, it actually starts moving automatically as soon as you jump on him. So you have to account for that, and you can only move up or down after that. You can't go anywhere you want. And then 6 is Jet, where you actually have a jetpack, and yeah.
You just do what you want.
You do what you want.
So I guess, like, a note for people fighting Stone Man.
Jump to hit him.
The vertical velocity of the napalm bomb actually affects your falling speed as you walk off an arrow. So if you shoot a bunch of napalm bombs and they fall a long time before hitting stone, and then you shoot an arrow and try to walk off it, you might just fall and die if it's in like. No, you probably wouldn't die anywhere, but you're definitely going to embarrass yourself. So you can, like, if you find yourself using some napalm bombs and they're falling quite a bit, you can just fire a few before the end fanfare plays. And if you're firing them on the ground, they won't cause problematic arrow physics. So here's Charge Man stage. Charge Man stage is really good. It's super.
It's really
fun
tricky
to
casually.
play. It's super tough. There's a lot to do. It's kind of like Stoneman in that regard, but it's more freeform with the. It's a little bit faster, like with the arrows that you can do. So here's Chicken Room. Yeah.
It's the rest of Squeak's extended family.
Yeah, there we go. Oh, we despawned one. I'm not sure how that counts. Normally, runners will use Crystal Eye here because you can fire it on the ground and hit these squeaks, and you can hit the chickens also firing from the ground.
These squeaks are going to limbo.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Just a little bit further to go. And then another screen with trains on it. The trains can be a little bit particular to get past because when they get close to you, then they shoot, and when they shoot, then they're vulnerable. But they also charge you, so you gotta like make sure you kill them. Making decent use of the half charges to hit enemies that are kind of tough to hit on the ground there, like the squeaks. Oh! So it's taking a lot of damage here. This is a very dangerous room.
Yeah.
All right, so he's through again, but he's very low on HP.
A lot of people playing it casually will just farm the chicken for any drops.
Yeah, I think he's got no E tanks or M tanks here.
Yeah.
So super dicey. Oh, that's an HP drop. Yo, we in there.
That is an HP drop.
Oh, and another one. Okay, so he's got a chance here. He's gonna want to take a rocket deboost to get through this guy, or to just kill him. The only problem is like, oh, okay, whatever. He's got lives because it's Mega Man 5, and he's into the boss room.
5 lives for Mega Man 5.
Yeah, well, usually it's 9 lives, but
Silly,
Mega Man 5, a
Mega
game
Man
for
9.
cats. Ooh. So you can see how useless Power Stone is.
And that's why we raced a ROM hack of only Power Stone.
Oh yeah, it was a pretty good ROM hack.
That was a great ROM hack. That was an experience. Forced to use Power Stone and only Power Stone for the entire game. Opting for Buster strats now versus the Stone.
Buster Fight is pretty stable because like he always does about the same thing.
Yeah, ooh, nice dodge.
All right, here we go. We just got one Robot Master left in Mega Man 5. He's going to move on to Mega Man 6, which is going to be his last.
Wait to see what a little bit of the stage since we didn't get to see any of it with Fast.
Yeah.
So he is doing the correct thing here on this. Use Charge Kick right at the beginning. That way you can kick through all the water spouts that happen.
Yeah. It's actually very particular. Usually if you take one hit in that room, you're going to take another 3.
Right.
Looks like he's going to do bubble skip as well.
Dude, double bubble is really awkward on like.
Oh, it's really awful. Like, and there are some people I think who have come to Mega Man 5 from Mega Man 9, which has a very similar bubble section. Except that bubble section is underwater and it's really easy to skip.
And uses jet versus an arrow.
Yeah. Bubble skip in Mega Man 5 is impossible. Some people tell me they can do it, but I think they're lying.
No, it's not. It's
no, but seriously, it's very difficult. It's very particular, and so if you don't spend a lot of time learning it, you're probably not going to get into runs.
Yeah, you gotta like super arrow up to a certain or at the correct time to jump on a bubble as it's screen transitioning like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, so you have to like stand on the bubble. You have to land on the bubble on the same frame as your hitbox is in the screen transition area. Like, it doesn't work otherwise. It's not like Mega Man 9 where you can just ride the bubble up for some small amount of time.
Unfortunate death. This section actually is not that fun in my opinion, using the boat, just because you can only shoot the one direction, so it makes it really tricky trying to dodge everything.
Alright, well. So this is a pretty boring auto-scrolling section. There's not much to do, really. You just gotta know where the enemies are and kill them all before you get hit.
Yeah, the best part about Wave's stage is the song.
Yeah. Actually, I don't think they can hear that, because jveth is streaming with Mike.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So there's some music being played underneath us.
Well, dang.
Yeah, I know, right? Don't even get to hear Wave Song on Wave Stage.
BJW would be disappointed. Shout out to BJW.
Oh, I think BJW is probably disappointed that this is happening at all.
It could be. Man, that was a great day when he got world record and had BGW voice on Waveman. Started singing to it.
Alright, so this is a super dangerous fight. You need to get close to Waveman in order to do damage. And Waveman does a lot of damage on contact. A little bit less with his weapons, but still significant. So you're going to take damage during this fight. So if you don't have an E-tank or full health coming into the fight, this might be worth suiciding or doing a very safe fight that starts with Buster.
Yeah. The one thing to note is you actually don't want to move initially for an easier fight. If you don't move at the beginning of the fight, he can never hit you at the beginning.
Oh yeah, with his water spout.
Right, yeah. And most people think, oh, I just need to move in to make it a little easier or whatever, to get closer to him, but that actually instantly makes you take a hit.
Oop. Yeah, so you can see how dangerous this fight can be. Already had 2 deaths to it, and we'll see if we get another one. His health is looking kind of dicey. You can see that, like, okay, so Waveman jumps to you. And another good thing about delaying at the beginning is it makes him jump to the center, where he's easier to hit with Charge Kick.
Exactly.
I wouldn't want to fight Wave at the end of a 46 Robot Master run. I think that would be the most terrifying thing I could think of. I'm glad that Centaur is the final boss of Mega Man 46 Robos.
Are you sure about that?
Well, I mean, I don't mean Water Sealing Room.
No, I'm talking about the fight.
Oh,
I guess it's not Wave.
So,
oh, that is unfortunate.
I don't know. I feel like Centaur Fight comes more under the obnoxious heading than the terrifying one.
That's true. That is true. It's not Tomahawk.
Yeah. Oh man, imagine Tomahawk being the last
Tomahawk
boss.
being the final boss.
Oh! Okay, so he's gonna grab the extra life here, but it looks like he was trying to go for the HP and he missed it.
Yeah, those tunnels are really weird. They kind of suck you in.
They kind of hoover you in there, yeah.
I'm gonna go rat out Yamato first after this, just to make sure Tomahawk is lost.
Alright. So here we go, we got this bubble section once more. Then we're going to move on to the boat section once more. And going into the boat section with this little HP is kind of dangerous.
Yeah, hope to get a health drop.
Thankfully, Mega Man 5 is usually generous enough with the drops to give you something along this stretch. There's a small HP, which is better than nothing. Actually, through a number of small HPs, he's doing okay now.
Yeah. It works.
Ooh, taking a lot of hits here. Gotta be careful. If he dies, he has to restart the whole boat section. This is where it really pays to know where the enemies come from.
Right.
Oh! Whoa! Okay. Oh no!
Man, he had some really good jukes in there. Really good dodges. That's unfortunate.
It's just like constant clench, man. It's great.
Yeah. Got that one up.
Yep.
MM5 reference.
In case it wasn't obvious, by the way, you can only hit the octopus in that one green area on the head.
Yeah, it goes a lot faster when you can charge shot it, or I guess mash, really. Boat doesn't allow for much of that very easily. Mostly because of your maneuverability being limited.
Mm-hmm.
There's a health drop.
Okay, another one up. Alright, so he's got pretty decent HP coming into this fight. Let's see if he's able to make anything happen. Looks like he's gonna start with Buster just like last time.
I think he might think he had more success with it versus the kick. But who knows?
Well, it's another case of, like, the fight goes on longer if you're using the Buster, so it becomes more dangerous in that way.
Right.
But looks like he's figured out... Oh,
something.
Short jump there. Like, it depends on a wave's jump height, for the most part, whether or not you take damage here. Oh, you can see he's doing a short jump, right? And then...
Yeah.
Alright, just one more charge shot, buddy. You got it! You got it, man!
We in there.
Alright, here we go.
We
Mega Man
in
6.
there.
I'll have to be back in just a quick second. Could you please?
Sure.
Awesome.
Starting out with the normal route of wind. It's not common to see people do other routes. There's 2 other routes in this game. The other common, I guess, used to be common one was flame first. Not many people do that one. And then there's the unconventional night first, but, you know, it is currently the second fastest route. But only due to some randomness. So here in Windman stage, you know, even if you were to do the stage later on in the game, you'd still want to Buster it. It's still faster than using weapons, even though using weapons makes it significantly easier. This section here we like to call improv room because there's a lot of different things going on. That's unfortunate. So the mistake he did there is that he jumped onto the fan. And when you jump at the fan, it carries you up instantly rather than having a delay on it. So it just made him fly straight into the spike. So what he wants to do there is just hold right or just slide off the edge, and that'll get him through instead. Getting used to fan physics is a little tricky at first, partially because of that. Oh! And that there was just not knowing how far the fan actually extends, and probably part of that is of why that death happened there was because of the different drop physics in this game compared to the others. Mega Man 6, Mega Man is very, very heavy compared to the other 5 games, so you drop very quickly. You know, you need to actually hold down the button to get a high jump rather than, you know, a quick tap to do a semi-high jump. So this just may be a case of, welcome back. This just may be a case of not being used to the different physics.
This is a terrifying game swap, honestly. And like, right off the bat, you have to do a bunch of really hard screens in Windman.
Wind is one of the harder stages in 6. For sure.
I remember my first 46 Robot Master run was that race we had at Summer Games Done Quick, right? Yeah. And I hadn't played Mega Man 6 in years. And I came to this stage and I think I game overed like 3 times in the first half without even making the checkpoint.
It's okay, I did that with Mega Man 4. And or 1 and 2. Probably want to take the extra life, yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Oh! Mega Man 6 ledges, man.
Yeah, and that's the other thing about this. This is what, like, if you watch me play Mega Man 2, I die everywhere. to jumping off of a ledge, because the ledges are so different in the later games compared to the originals, especially in 6. In 6, you can pretty much walk off the ledge until, like, you know, you can just be hanging on by Mega Man's toe of his, you know, other foot. Like, you go way the heck off of there. Whereas in the previous ones, like, you only go half of his body length. So, you know, not being
sometimes.
Yeah. So not being used to one or the other, and then going to the other ones in a single race can be really weird and hard to adjust to.
Alright, so Windman Fight has some peculiarities. Nothing that really comes up in a first-time casual play or like a newbie speedrun, but
Right. Yeah, normally what you would do is you'd want to slide back and forth in as fast as you can, and that actually reduces the charge time it takes to get a full charge. For humans to do an RTA, you can only probably get a few frames worth out of that. If you watch the TAS of this, it like halves the charge time. It's insane. You might be getting a little more used to the fact that you can actually charge while sliding now, compared to 5.
yeah, a little bit.
There he goes. Shoutouts to the Wind Dance.
Alright, so he's going to be going into Flame next. Flame's probably my favorite stage in this game as far as movement goes. Oh no!
Oh
he
no!
selected continue!
Oh,
That's really bad. He has to die 4 times now.
That is the worst stage of these 8 robots that you could do that in.
There's no pits. There's no pits anywhere, is there? It's not for quite a long time.
Yeah, the closest one is going up to the improv room, the 4th screen.
Oh.
Well, I'm trying to think. I wonder if Plant would be faster because you have a Stomper doing more damage. So
Oh, yeah. This is a really bad.
This is most definitely the worst one to do that with.
It looks like he's trying to find something that does more damage, maybe, or maybe he's just going to do the stage again. Might be the faster thing to do at this point.
It'd still be faster to die.
Maybe if he gets to the checkpoint, then he has really quick deaths there.
That is true. That is true.
Oh.
My video is buffering. See if I can pull it up elsewhere.
Okay. So yeah, in Mega Man 4, 5, and 6, you can revisit stages after you've beaten them. This is because the developers hid items in certain places, like the beat letters in Mega Man 5, or the balloon and wire in Mega Man 4. In Mega Man 6, there's a few things that you can collect, including beat letters in its Tomahawk, Yamato, Knight, and Centaur.
Yes.
And also an energy balancer that you can pick up in Tomahawk stage.
Yes.
Is there anything else?
Nope, that is it. So
Okay.
there is actually a 100% category in Mega Man 6 to collect those. And the run is the exact same, other than collecting those.
Yeah. So because of... Yeah. because of that, you can revisit stages. And if you revisit a stage after you beat it, you can't exit out of the stage without gaming over or beating it again. So there we go. This is one of the main things that Mega Man X did right. Mega Man X, of course, coming out around the same time as Mega Man 6. But once you've beaten a stage in Mega Man X, you can exit out of it at any time if you revisit.
Alright, so we are into Flame Man stage. You will get to see here, not sure if we saw it with Fast earlier or not, this stage has got kind of a gimmick to it with the oil pits that can be lit. One interesting thing to note about them, though, is that as soon as they get lit, they actually stay lit until you game over. So if you die, that will still be there.
Yeah, it's really odd. And especially like a couple of the pits in the later parts of the stage have the same ID as the pits in the earlier parts of the stage. So because they reused those IDs, you can come to the second half of the stage for the first time, and you find some of the pits lit because.
There will be one pit lit just because he had this long room lit. Like the second pit, I think, is the one it is. Will be lit up here in the second half.
I don't know. I guess they heard the commotion upstairs and decided to light a fire of their own. So yeah, slow and steady is going to be the key here, especially with the oil pits being on fire.
Yes.
Yes, definitely an important note. Roland was in fact spared.
Roland was spared, this is true. But hey, he didn't shoot him, so...
Yeah, I know. There's no need to invoke self-defense, right?
Roland being one of the ground enemies that shot up into the air. One of them is notorious for ending early runs just because of that hit that is completely random. So we have named him Roland, or rather Papat has named him Roland.
Nicknaming enemies. Nicknaming enemies is a time-honored custom among speedrunners. Like, I'm pretty sure Mad Nerd is a nickname as well, right?
It is, yeah. The actual name for those was the Brain Break.
Right.
But Mad Nerd is way better.
Mad Nerd is just so much better.
It's so much better.
Oh, he toyed with the continue button there, but managed to get off of it just in time, and here we are going into Blizzard Man.
At least it would have been flame that time.
Solar energy.
Yeah, most of them are powered by solar energy, only a couple are not. Wind has wind energy, flame has thermal energy, and Centaur's on dry battery. The rest, I believe, are all solar. Taking the top route, don't see this too often, but hey, he gets the health for it. Avoids enemies.
Yeah.
Now, once again, if you slide on this stage because of the ice physics... and I guess I didn't explain this for jveth. When you slide Mega Man 6, you actually can't jump out of it like you could in 4 and 5 and 3. So instead, you have to either hit A to cancel it, and then hit A again to jump, or you have to turn around. If you turn around while you slide on the ice, you'll just kind of boomerang back. But if you A cancel instead, you keep your forward momentum. So when you're trying to do a speedrun of this, you try and do A cancels where you can, so that you actually keep your momentum.
A curious strat here is switching back to Buster for the squid. Normally you'd want to take it down with Flame, but I guess he wants to conserve his ammo.
For the boss, yeah. Now, see, I think he's watched a little bit here, because given that he swapped... Or no, he swapped a flame to the E-tank, so maybe not. Though there are some people that still use Buster for the lag room.
I am one of them.
Yeah.
Oh, no!
Oh,
I saw that one coming.
Yeah, that bullet.
Fortunately, it's not far away.
If he stands in the right position, so if he kills this second turret, Joe, he can actually kill the third one down there while the submarine is going up, because the shots will be lower.
Oh no, it happened again!
He's got to jump from the other one. Oh, you know what? I think he might be thinking he could jump on the ice.
No, you can't get up there.
But you can't get up that way. You have to...
You could break it with POW, but
yeah,
it's kind of dicey anyways, because then you got like a bit of a gauntlet to run there.
I mean, breaking it with POW will get him a E-tank for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you stand in the spot of where the second turret was at, you can kill the third one just by mashing.
Yo, I can't believe it's not butter.
I can't believe it's not butter. Butter being that spot there at the top of the submarine, you can actually get through that without stopping. But it's very tight, and the submarine can eat slides, and a lot of factors go into it, but
God.
certainly doable.
Yeah, don't slide when the sub changes direction. It's just a bad time.
This part is always nerve-wracking for me watching new people go through it. Okay, he's fine.
Yeah, well, at least he didn't like stand on it and try to get a backwards deboost into the boss door like I've done before, and then fall into the pit and die and hate myself.
So many people have done that. I've watched
like, oh, it's
too many people do that. You know, I can't type.
I can just take a deboost into the boss door, right? No, it's Mega Man 6. You can't do that.
I can't type fast enough. There's a delay. It happens every time. I'm like, no. I can tell them, but it won't let me. Alright, making quick work of Blizzard Man. You can actually skip those bombs at the end, but it's kind of a coin flip on it. You get a subpixel that may or may not be there, and then you have to jump off of the subpixel to go underneath the bombs, but it saves 4.5 seconds if you get it. If you don't, you lose like 40.
Sounds like a good trade-off.
Yeah.
Alright, so that's 3 bosses down. Just 5 left to go in the whole race.
I think you'll get some...
Flower fancier. Flower. Just like all of the robot metadata on the boss screen is so godlike.
You're like the first person I've ever heard say that. Everyone tells me like it's useless and it just is distracting. I'm like, it's cool info.
Super cool. It's like
it's super cool info. I don't care if it's useless.
I don't know. I must have been the only
info.
person who in Mega Man X would switch over to all the info tabs when he was playing casually. It was like, yeah, this is really cool stuff.
Yeah.
Lore!
Everyone always tells me like they don't like. That's part of the reason why they don't like 6 is because of that. I'm like, that's just the worst reason to not like a game. But whatever. All right, good that he's using flames here. It only takes 6 shots with the flames to kill the. Whoa, okay.
Oh, so you don't actually
right.
save time doing that because you gotta wait for the guy to die. But no, good try.
That's actually similar to the Wily 2 boss in this game, the dog thing. The derp boss, as we call it. If you actually run past it, it will actually stay in place. It just won't move at all. It's interesting.
Yeah.
The legendary 6 jump.
That's just rude.
I'm sorry. No, it's not easy to get that in one jump. So
Right.
what you try and do is to, jump and then mash into them to, just do it in one jump. However, you have to be at a very set distance from them so that you create enough lag that it takes all those hits. Otherwise, it won't, and you'll just fall and have to do it in 2 or 3.
The good part about this stage is there's lots of health at the end, so you rarely find yourself in a position of being in trouble right before the boss. But also, a lot of these platforms you can open easily by standing on the previous platform and doing a standing shot and then sliding off. Also, beware of landing on anything in Mega Man 6, especially near the edge. And especially these springs. They're awful. Oh! Don't spawn a bunch of stuff back on screen. Okay.
Okay, he's fine. He's in. That's all
Yeah,
that
he's
matters.
in.
He's in.
Now the next thing is you can only miss 3 times with Blizzard Attack.
Right.
It does 4, and it costs 3. You have 28 ammo, so you have 10 shots.
Yeah, the thing with like the springs, especially, and just in general.
Oh.
Okay.
So
Sorry, there's one.
This is a fight that you can cheese relatively easily if you know the pattern. But if you're trying to be fast, then sometimes it becomes dangerous. All right, using that E-tank, we should be okay.
Yeah. But anyway,
he's got no ammo left now. He's gonna miss. He's gonna have to do the last couple hits with Buster.
Yeah.
Oh, easy boss. All right, we're good.
Easy boss. Now, everybody always has this complaint after they've played this game. They always say, couldn't I get Rush Jet from any other boss to have for Plant Man stage because of how difficult the end part is with the springs? I'm here to tell you that that is the worst idea that you could ever have. Using Jet with the springs is awful. Like, Jet has a really weird pause, like when you start to use it, trying to jump off of springs simultaneously. Like, it just does not work.
Wait, does it even charge up when you're bouncing off the springs?
I think so. You just have to touch ground. So yeah.
Okay.
But trying to use it is impossible. Makes it a lot harder than it should be. Or than it is.
This is interesting. You can just like stand there and spam charge shots at it if you really want to.
I think if you walk closer and you had Night Crusher, you could do the same.
I'm sure you would know such things, Mr. Knight.
Well, I got closer whenever I did that.
Mm-hmm.
And I was using Flame still anyway.
Yeah, but still, it's just, I don't know. I was just poking fun at you for going Night first. That's all.
Yo, Night first is the second fastest route currently. I got a 35. Was it 3509 or something like that? No, it was a 3504. It was a 3504, really? Yeah. Which it made me really sad because I just did the run on a whim. I was like, let's do Night first today, and I almost PB'd off of it. I was really sad. I almost had the 34 with Night first.
That's awesome.
Yeah. In any case, it's generally considered like the slowest route because of the randomness to it and everything. But it's a fun one.
Yeah.
Not a lot in Tomahawk Man stage. The beginning has a lot of that mashing, but after that, it's use Flame for the rest of it, and
Yeah, kind of
really
cheese
flat.
most of the stuff.
And... Now the fight, on the other hand, let's
Oh
hope that he can
god,
do
it's
it.
brutal.
I'm really hoping he can do this first try. Because this is not an easy fight to get used to.
This is an easier Buster fight than it is a plant fight, I think. Because you can at least keep your distance with Buster.
I don't think so. Because his damage doesn't exceed yours to his. Alright. That's good that he didn't, like, use multiple shots, because oftentimes people end up using multiple shots on accident, or they try and spam them out to try and hit him as early as possible. Yeah. But then they end up using, like, 3 of their only 7 exact shots.
Yeah. I was more going, can you believe? We've only got 3 Robot Masters to go. We are 43 down.
We are 43 down.
This is interesting. This is an interesting stage because a lot of the branches are very obvious. Some of the branching paths in Mega Man 6 are a little bit less obvious. Like,
like right here.
But here, this is very clearly marked. And one of the hidden paths we're actually going to take in this stage because it's faster. And this is the only stage in the run that actually collects the beat letter.
Yes, that's because it reduces... Let's see, how many screens different? I think it's 4 screens less to go that direction.
It's ludicrous.
If I remember right.
This is 8 seconds just from screen transitions.
Yeah. And it doesn't take any extra time, really, in the weapon get screen to get the beat letter. Maybe like 0.2 seconds or something to get it typed out.
This certainly is no Mega Man 2.
Right, exactly. It does it all in one menu. So let's see which route he goes on. He's gonna opt for the top route. Good. It's a lot easier to go the top route as well.
Oh, he's gonna have to swap back right away. Oh, well.
Yes, he is. Unless he falls down the pit. Which would be really unfortunate.
It's like, oops, you thought you were going to do the top route.
Yeah, and then it puts you in the bottom route.
That's actually one of my favorite troll moves in the whole game. It's like, oh, this isn't just gonna kill you, it's gonna humiliate.
Yeah, so the easy stage. See what he does with the fight.
I'm expecting a double fastatcc Yamato.
We shall see. And there it is. Man, can you believe that we just had 2 fastatcc patented Yamato fights in one race?
Yo, both 1 damage! Oh my god.
Oh my goodness. This guy is gonna kill me by the end of this. The heart attacks I'm getting.
Alright, just 2 left to go. Night stage is super hard sometimes. Especially just in that
first part.
In the stealing room there. It's very stressful if you don't really take your time.
So now we're going to Harbinger of Science Man. Shoutouts to Tiki.
Yeah, shoutouts to Tiki's Mega Man 6 run from like 7 years ago.
Something like that.
I think it's actually still on SDA.
It is. I've been trying to get a better run. Whoa! What is this? He gets the small jump. That's the hardest part. Keep going.
Yeah, if you do that, you may as well just do the ceiling.
Oh my gosh, he did the hard part and then stopped us. Ah!
Oh no!
Oh my goodness. Yeah, as far as the SDA run, I've been trying to get another one on there, but I've had certain criteria that I've wanted for it, and I just never get it.
Yeah,
or
that's
when
the
I
problem.
do,
Like,
I'm
yeah.
not local recording. I think I have one now that I can submit. I just need to actually submit it.
Mhm. Yeah, the problem is like the times keep getting lower and lower and lower, and SDA has such a long publishing lead time, right? So by the time it gets to the front page, it might already be awful.
Who knows?
So,
Ian? I don't know.
I don't know. I really like SDA, and I want to put a run there sometime, but who knows?
The time, yeah. Who knows how long it'll take?
So yeah, Nightman's a really dangerous stage. There's spikes everywhere, and stuff that can kill you at every turn. And some really hard jumps to make, and Mega Man 6 ledges don't really help you when you're trying to land.
Oh yeah, as I was trying to explain earlier with Plant, Mega Man 6 ledges, most of the time they're fine, but you can't always rely on them when you land on them. If you land on the very edge of the ledge and you have full velocity going down, sometimes it'll actually clip you through it at random. Like it just does that. And you'll just die because of it. You know, you're over some spikes or a pit or something, and it just clips you through it. So you just have to be aware of that and try and jump a little further in to make sure you don't have that happen.
Yo, Jet Strats. Shoutouts to Baron Haynes.
Shoutouts to Baron Haynes. Yeah, recently Baron Haynes tested that out to see if Jet was faster, and it barely is if you do it correctly.
Yeah, well, not only is it faster, like, if you're really good, but it's also way easier in that section.
That's true.
So, like, yeah, it's not necessarily way easier if you're trying to do it super fast, but as a survival strat, totally recommended.
Gets under the bullet.
Yeah. So these guys are very odd. You have to hit them in the case, and then they pop out, and then you can hit them out afterwards.
Shoutouts to Kazes, yeah.
Always shoutouts to Kazes. We should just assume shoutouts to Kazes. Oh!
He's probably doing dishes somewhere.
It's a very mad nerd.
That is a very mad nerd. He's going for it. He's going for it. The rare E-Tank pickup.
Yeah, I mean, if you could, why not?
Why not?
Yo, Jet in this room is a little bit interesting.
And this is sort of why you don't want to use Jet on springs. Kind of the same concept.
Yeah, you don't really have all that much control.
You don't have a lot of control with your Jet afterwards. Alright, so Nightman, while you have his weakness, you hope that he stays on the ground. So that you can just continuously hit him. Using Yamato's Spear, it actually pierces his shield. But if he likes to jump a lot. So he actually got a really good pattern here. He just stayed on the ground the entire time. So that works beautifully. If he jumps a lot, he tends to jump really high, and you just can't do anything about it, and you have to wait for him to come down.
Mm-hmm. Just one to go. One
left.
stage, Mad.
One left.
One stage, one boss. I mean, the boss is the stage, but we'll not talk about that. This is Centaur Man stage. So there's water, which means the physics are kind of weird. And also there's spikes everywhere. And there's pits.
A lot of
and
enemies.
All sorts of enemies and all sorts of cool stuff you can do to die and lose lots of time. So we'll see how this goes.
It is a very, very difficult stage to learn how to do correctly. And just play casually. Definitely one of the hardest ones to play.
Some of the themed enemies are really cool. Like the pelican that drops fish on you. That's so great. And here we go. Here's the first example. Those spikes. You have to make a pretty specific jump height in order to get under the spikes and across the pit. This is a very evil stage.
And that first part is just the beginning of that room. That room is not easy to get through throughout the entire part of it. There he goes. Alright.
Alright, well, there's still a couple jumps left to make. Ooh, that one was close. Alright. As long as he can get through this next room without taking 8 damage, then he's at the checkpoint and it should be okay. As long as he's got lives.
I was saying that shouldn't be too hard given what's in this room.
Oh, he's got no lives. Okay, so this becomes a little bit tougher. We got water ceiling here.
He might swap to jet, I wonder.
Sorry.
To make that a little easier.
I guess I should say we've got water wall room here.
Get out.
No regrets.
It is a ceiling. Yo, he's going for the jump. He gets the jump. Roland's cousins. Yeah, we got the extra life.
Yo.
That's actually really good, just in case.
Yeah, you don't want to have to redo this stage. I often find myself having to redo this stage in 46 runs because it's right at the end, and it's been a long. And so it's like, I just want to be done. And instead of being done, I jump in the pit and I die and I game over.
And see, like, that's what I say about this all the time. When it comes to like something like 46, I feel like in some way I have a slight advantage to it because my game is Mega Man 6. It's the last game. So I have everything to look forward to. You know, I get to play my game last. You know, I have everything to look forward to. Whereas a lot of people, you know, oh, their game was Mega Man 1, Mega Man 2. Then they just have to sit there through the rest of it and not want to play until the end. So in one regard, that's nice.
It's funny that you say Mega Man 1. No Mega Man 1 main actually plays any other Mega Man games.
Toad?
Toad, yeah, Toad's pretty much the only one. Okay, we got jveth finishing now. Let's check Racebot's time. Racebot reporting 3:18:37, but I think it was earlier than that, possibly. So, I think it flashed up on his game feed that he had PB'd, so that's pretty cool.
That's great. Yeah, well done, both runners. Oh, blind on 6.
Blind Mega Man 6? I wouldn't wish that on anybody. Oh my god. All right. I don't know if there are any closing comments from anybody for this stream.
Yeah, I don't know if Enemy or Feasel needs to say anything, but as far as we go, this was the race of the night, I guess. One of the races, anyway.
This is definitely a good race. Yeah, showing off somebody at the very high end of the optimization scale, and somebody who's just getting started, right? Is like there's lots of room for improvement.
Absolutely.
There with jveth, and I saw the stirrings of some good stuff there. This just needs some work.
Yeah. Well, in any case, I think that's it for us, so we'll be heading off.
Yeah, I'm gonna sign off now.
Thanks for
again,
watching,
everybody.
everyone.